Yes, Matt. I'm going to be your commentator for the evening. Joining me straight away, we have one of the managers with me. It's Mr. Joey Allen, who is the manager for Red Bull, McLaren and Toro Rosso. Good evening, Joe.
All right.
So, a bit of an interesting race for your Red Bull team last time out at Hungary. One took the other out in the end. I know you weren't very happy after the race, were you?
Honestly, I was pissed off.
Yeah, I could tell.
It's just what it is. Like, if they want to battle, they can battle.
So, Jamie's got a race ban today, so only got one car on the grid. How's that going to change your approach for the race? Because obviously Dan now doesn't have a backup man.
He's going to have to try his hardest and push up the furthest he can up the grid.
Indeed he will. And you've got two Honda-powered cars here. We've got Red Bull and Toro Rosso. You're managing both of them. How do you think they'll get on around Belgium? Because it's normally a track you need quite a lot of power around. And we know the Honda's not the strongest engine. How do you think those two are going to get on here this evening?
Well, at the minute, I'm considering giving each other a tow down the main street. Just so I've got that bit more power. Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen that. I've seen Ferrari do that, especially at Monza, quite a few times in the past. And your other team, McLaren, again, not the strongest engine in the back of that with the Renault. How do you think they'll get on? I mean, they're sitting 7th in the championship at the moment. You've got two quite strong drivers from McLaren. How do you think they'll get on this evening?
Sam, I think will have a cracking result. Potentially best of the rest round here. But Greg, aim for the top 10, really.
Yeah.
Got to be top 10 for Greg.
Well, definitely. Well, it'll be an interesting race. I hope it goes better for you today than it did last time out. Thank you for joining us on the stream, and I will talk to you hopefully toward the end of the race.
Yeah, that's alright.
So that was one of our managers there, Mr. Joe Allen. It's great to hear from one of the managers right before the race starts. So like I said, you join me here at the Belgian Grand Prix this evening. It's been a sad week for Formula One. It's lost one of its greatest ever drivers in history with the sad passing of Sterling Moss. He died this week at the age of 90. Just very quick background with Sterling. He won 16 Grand Prix in his career, and he also finished in the top 3 in the championship for 7 years in a row, which is something that even Michael Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton have not achieved in their careers. Look out for some of the helmet designs this evening. Some of the drivers will be wearing white helmets as a tribute to him. Also, a few of the drivers may be having flashes of pink on their helmets as well. That's for Antoine Hubert, who of course the F2 driver who lost his life at the Belgian Grand Prix F2 race last year. So have a look out for those. I know a few of the drivers were talking about doing that earlier on today. So we're here at Belgium. Just a very quick run through for anybody who doesn't know. Jamie Callan, as I said earlier, does have a ban on this race. There's only one Red Bull in the race this evening, which is Dan Blackwell. And also Matt Goodyear in the Alfa Romeo, he does have a qualifying ban. So he will be starting at the back of the grid, which is a shame for him. But look out for him in the race. He normally has got quite a good pace. So he could be a dark horse, and he could provide us with some of the entertainment through the race as he comes through. Fabulous track here at Spa. Longest track on the calendar, of course. And first part of qualifying is underway, 18 minutes. Just a quick reminder for those of you who haven't seen this before. 18 minutes in the first part of qualifying. The top 15 will go through to Q2. So for a lot of the top teams, it is just a case of getting themselves into the second part of qualifying here. One of the racing points, there he is. Arthur Bowler is out immediately. As soon as the session started, he's out. And just to quickly run through the Drivers' Championship as well for you, after the last race in Hungary, Stephen Harrison still leads the Drivers' World Championship, but his lead has been cut. Excuse me. His lead has been cut to 28 points over his teammate now, Anthony Bauer. So their manager, Michael Booker, the Ferrari manager, could be faced with an interesting problem here. A good problem, but an interesting one at the same time. Because his two cars now are in the World Championship fight together. Dan Blackwell is just a point behind Anthony Bauer as well. So it's those three in with a chance of the World Championship. In the Constructors, Ferrari have got it pretty much wrapped up. Almost a 200-point lead now at the top of the World Championship. 189 points is exactly they've got over Mercedes. And then we've got a fantastic battle for third now going on in the Constructors Championship. We've got Red Bull, Renault, Racing Point and Haas covered by just 28 points. So that is a great one to look out for. And of course, with Red Bull only with one car here this weekend, they're going to really struggle to get some points on the board. So it could be an opportunity for these guys here, Arthur and his teammate Olivier, in the Racing Points. It could be an opportunity for them to take third place in the Constructors' Championship. And what a result that would be at this late stage of the season, to be up in third in the Constructors' Championship. Really does go to show what a great job these two drivers are doing in the World Championship. So here is Arthur Bowler now coming down this long Kemmel straight up to Lake Com. Slightly climbing all the way. I will try and do an on-board lap at some point with somebody. Goes through Lake Com. The car looking good there. Quite a few cars going out. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. I think that was one of the Mercedes trying to get a little bit of space. There's a Renault there just in front of Arthur that should get out of the way quite nicely. And I think someone's gone off at Eau Rouge, from what I can see, might again out of the way. Now that Renault there really does need to get out of the way here. That's Patrick, and he does, into Lafania. Actually gave Arthur a bit of a nice toe there up into that chicane, so might have gained an extra few hundredths of a second there. Now, as we were saying to Joe earlier on, this is definitely a power circuit. Need a good, strong engine behind you. So you would think primarily it would be Mercedes and Ferrari. And of course, there's 6 teams with with those 2 engines. So it could be quite an interesting qualifying as to who can get into the top 10. But here comes Arthur, our first lap of qualifying. Arthur Bowler goes across the line, out of the bus stop chicane. And he does a 1:45.1. That's a good lap there in the Racing Point. So he goes fastest. Here is Callum in the Williams. Williams, I said in the last race, aiming for 100 points. They fell 1 short of it. Andrew retired, unfortunately, in the last race, but Callum did bring it home with some points, as Anthony Bauer goes fastest on a 44.3. And then Olivier goes third. It's his home race, of course. Belgian driver in the Racing Point. And he goes into third place. Here comes Callum across the line. And he does a 46.8. So not a bad effort there in the Williams, as Dean goes second. There is Patrick. He's gone for the medium tyres. It was quite an interesting decision. Joe Newman's gone straight back to the pits. Here comes Dan Blackwell, third in the championship now. And let's see how he does. He goes fourth on a 45.4. Don't forget what we heard from Joe. They may yet use each other as toes here to just try and help them. Probably see that again in the next race as well at Monza. Because these are 2 circuits I think the Honda engine's really going to struggle with. Andrew has gone 7th, so both Williams have set a lap time. Here is Jamie Keats in the pass. Great race for him in Hungary. Really came through the field well and ended up finishing 5th. So picking up a good haul of points for the Haas team, which is just keeping them in touch with that battle for 3rd in the Constructors' Championship that I mentioned earlier. So down towards one of the quickest corners on the calendar, about 165 miles an hour there you saw on the apex of Pouon. Then up to La Fagna chicane. It is supposedly going to be a dry qualifying and a dry race. We've seen so many races in the past here, absolutely torrential rain, but it does look as if this evening we're going to be escaped from that. Let's see what Jamie can do. He comes down into the last chicane, a little bit late on the brakes. And he goes up into 6th. So not a bad effort from him. Ryan in the Alfa Romeo's gone 10th, and Greg has gone 12th. So Patrick's had his lap disallowed. He's had 2 fabulous races as Patrick, podiums in both of them. Anthony Bauer clearly feels that he's done enough as he's retired from the session. Here is Scott Larvin in the Toro Rosso. Let's see how he can get on. He's also gone onto these medium tyres. So that's an interesting move there, because we know both Toro Rossos are going to struggle with that longer power, but he obviously feels confident enough. Gareth Lambourne has gone out as well in the Haas. So he's having a great season, is Gareth. Not had the ultimate pace at a few of the races, but he just keeps finishing the races, keeps racking up the points, and he's actually currently sitting 11th in the championship. So he's having a great season, is Gareth. With him and Callum, of course, there are 2 longest standing drivers, and Stephen as well. There are 3 longest standing drivers in this league. So here is Scott Larvin in the Toro Rosso coming through to complete his first flying lap on the medium tyres. Let's see how he gets on. The only other person to do a lap on the mediums is Patrick in the Renault. He's done a 45.7. The Scott Larvin goes across the line and he does a 47.7. So just seeing who else is on a lap. We've got Ant Waddington on a lap at the moment as well. In the Mercedes. He retired from the last race, but it fell apart a lot for Mercedes in the last race. Of course, we saw Ant Waddington retiring from the race, and then a lap before that we had his teammate spinning out in exactly the same corner, and he ended up retiring from the race. So it really did fall apart for Mercedes at the last race. Dean did recover to 2nd in the end, but Ant Waddington, it was terminal damage. So it's unfortunate for him. Gareth has got 14th, so a good effort from him. Quicker than the McLaren of Gregor, and quicker than the Williams as well. So good effort there from Gareth. As here comes Ant Waddington, and just in front of him is Joe Newman as well. These are the last 2 to set a lap. Let's see how they get on. Joe Newman goes across the line, and he goes into 14th, and then Ant Waddington goes up to 4th. So current order, Anthony Bauer is fastest. We've got Dean Barry in 2nd in the Mercedes, 3rd for Arthur Bowler, good effort from him. 4th for Ant Waddington. Dan Blackwell 5th in the Red Bull. Ollie is 6th in the Racing Point. Jamie Keats is 7th for Haas. 8th is Stephen Harrison in the 2nd of the Ferraris, doing a long run on this first set of tyres. He's on his 5th lap at the moment. Patrick Orozco is 9th for Renault, just ahead of Sam Congreve in the McLaren. We heard from Joe, expecting a strong race from Sam. Matt Anderson is 11th, 12th is Callum, as Jamie Keats goes up to 5th. So good effort from him. Callum Harrod is 12th in the Williams, 13th for Ryan Sturman, 14th for Scott Larvin, Joe Newman is 15th, Gareth Lambourne is 16th, then we've got Andrew and then Gregor. So that is the current order. So these cars are heading back to the pits. There we go. Here is a driver just starting a lap. So let's see if we can get it on board. This is the source. Slowest corner on the track. If you plunge downhill here, car can be very, very quick. You've got O-route, think left, and it's absolutely flat these days for these cars. Through the right keep Hemel, then along this straight, just goes on forever this straight, up to about 215 in the top cars, into Les Combes. Brought to hit the curb, just missed the curbs there, then into his right-hander, that's Malmedy, plunged downhill towards the Beau Rivage hairpin. The car wanders to the outside, bring it over to the right. This is Lise. And then a nice short back straight up to one of the best corners in Formula 1 in my opinion. This is Bouon, 160 miles an hour on the apex, then it wanders to the outside, opens out on the exit. Wander back over to the left hand side. So I've just been asked to turn the game volume down a little bit, so I will just do that very quickly. So, here is Matt Anderson just completing his lap. I'm going to do another lap with someone else in a little while. Matt Anderson's got up to 10th in the Renault. Not a bad effort. That was a second off his teammate. So now Stephen has retired from the session, but at the moment he's only down to 15th position. May not be the best decision here for Stephen, because he is right on the bubble. I actually think he's crashed somewhere. So, not the best session so far. For the Ferrari. So Joe Newman on his outlap, so is Gareth Lambourne. So I think this would mean here that Stephen could be starting back in 15th position. That's if he makes it through. I mean, his lap time's quick enough, but he may be starting 15th on the grid come the race. So here is right. Okay, so hopefully that will be a little bit better. So here comes Joe Newman. I'm going to try and do a lap on board with Joe now. As Dan Blackwell's also retired, he obviously feels he's done enough as well. So here comes Joe Newman. This is run down to the source. I've got 185 miles an hour, then brake hard. Down into second gear, 45 miles an hour. And that was brilliantly taken. And then look how quickly the car builds up speed here. As it runs down to over, he's about 195 miles an hour. Oh, and he's lost it. He's lost it. Joe Newman spun and he's in the wall. And Joe Newman is out of qualified. And Ryan Sturman spun behind him. So Ryan Sturman has spun as well at the same point. And well, that's ruined qualifying for Joe, and I think Ryan might have a little bit of damage there as well. So, disaster for those who, yes, Ryan's lost half of his front wing. So, well, mistake from Joe. So easy done there at Eau Rouge. But Joe Newman is out of the session. And here is Gareth Lambourne. He's currently in 17th position. It looks like Andrew is not going to improve. He's half a second down in the first sector. Let's see how we can do in the second sector. And I've just been told as well that Steve Harrison actually crashed in the middle of the second sector. So that's why he is no longer in the session. He might be allowed into the second part though. I'll have to wait to see about that. But at the moment, Andrew is definitely out of qualifying as well in the Williams. He is sitting in 18th position on the grid. We know, of course, the Matt Goodyear in the Alfa Romeo has got a quali ban, so he's going to start 19th and last. Joe Newman is now out of the session as well. Can Gareth improve and get ahead of Joe Newman? If he improves by half a second, he'll even get to the second mile of qualifying here from Gareth. So, he's had a slow lap. Let's see how he gets on now on his quick lap. In that Haas. And yes, I'm being told that Steve Harrison is going to be starting 15th on the grid. So, disaster for him. He's lost quite a lot of points in the last few races to his World Championship lead. Qualifying is now over. There's only one person on track, and that is the person we're looking at, which is Gareth Lambourne in the Haas. Come on, Gareth, I'd love to see you into the second part of qualifying here. His teammates up in 5th. But Gareth's having such a strong season, and it would be great to see him into the second part of qualifying here. He's a fraction up in the first sector. Let's see how he gets on in the second sector. Into La Fagna. And down into Stablo. Let's have a look. Oh, he's a 10th down on his best. Excuse me, so let's see how he can do. Can he find any time in this last sector? He could still depose Joe Newman yet. As he comes down into the bus stop chicane. And Gareth Lambourne in the Haas doesn't quite improve. He remains in 17th position in the Haas. But good effort from Gareth. He out-qualified the Williams. And he will start up on row 9. So there is confirmation. Anthony Bauer fastest from Dean Barry. Good effort there from the Racing Point of Arthur Bowler. He's 3rd. Ant Waddington 4th. Jamie Keats 5th. Dan Blackwell 6th. Then we've got Ollie, Patrick, Sam, Matt Anderson 10th. Callum, good effort as well from him in the Williams in 11th place. Scott Larvin 12th. Ryan Sturman in 13th in the Alfa Romeo despite that spin. Gregor Telford 14th. Now Stephen is going to be starting 15th on the grid. Then we've got Joe Newman, Gareth Lambourne, Andrew and Matt Goodyear, of course, starting at the back. So into Q2. The time gets cut to 15 minutes here for Q2. And the thing with Q2 is, if you finish in the top 10, whichever tyres you did your fastest lap on, those are the tyres that you'll start the race on. This is where quite often we see cars going for unusual strategies, and I'm seeing already quite a few cars switching onto the medium tyres. The soft tyres here, very, very good, very, very grippy, but they don't last that long. So, and I think Joe Newman's got some technical issues, but Possession's still going on for now. So we've got a few cars heading out. Arthur Bowler again, straight out of the pits, but both racing points straight out. So they're actually quite close together on the track as well. So possibly could they be trying to help each other with a tow here? Seen quite a few teams do that in the past, but it could be happening again here for these two. They're certainly close enough to help each other out here. So the tow worked quite a lot, especially on the long run, because of course you don't touch the brakes from leaving La Source all the way up to the Lake Holm chicane. So if you've got a car in front of you giving you a tow, that is such a massive advantage. Let's see if that's what Racing Point are doing, or if Arthur just backs off a little bit. They've got a little bit of space behind them. I think he's one of the, well, it's not one of the McLarens behind them, so they've got a little bit of space behind. They can afford to drop back if they want to. The thing you don't want to do, of course, is stay front for too long if you're giving someone a tow, because you end up doing the opposite effect once you get into the corners. If you're giving someone a tow down to Lake Holm, you've got to get out of the way before Lake Holm, because otherwise you will lose car behind time. So let's see what they do here. So they start their flying lap. I think they're still just about close enough to do this, you know. Down into turn 1. That Racing Point again looking very, very well set up. And maybe just dropped a little bit too far behind there, actually. I don't think we'll be feeling any effect at all from that. So the two Racing Point traditionally, and of course under their previous name Force India, they've always gone well around here. Don't forget Giancarlo Fisichella back in 2009 in the Force India. He stuck it on pole position and finished second in the race, only about a second behind race winner Kimi Raikkonen. So it is normally a strong track for them. And we've seen both Racing Points qualifying very, very well. Oh, and as I say that, Arthur spins off coming out of Beau Rivage. He's lucky to keep that going there because he went nose first into the wall. But he has lost his front wing, or half of his front wing there. So big incident there for Arthur. He's got enough time. He's got 11 minutes left to be able to get back into the pits, change the front wing, get a new set of tyres on that. But he may have to go on a set of softs from that, and they will only have, I think, one set of mediums for qualifying. So, incident there for the Racing Point. Let's see how his teammate gets on. Home race, of course, for Ollie. He'll be really looking to get as high up the grid as he can. Certainly get into Q3. And of course, with that strong engine behind him, he should do it. 45.3, that's a good lap. About the same as what Arthur did in the first part of qualifying. So that should be enough for him. Let's see who else is going to cross the line. Sam has gone second. Callum goes up to second. Good effort from Callum. Here comes Jamie Keats in the Haas, and he goes up to third. And Anthony Bauer's gone fastest. Anthony Bauer fastest. We've got Ollie in second now in the Racing Point. Jamie third. Callum will be delighted to be quicker than one of the McLarens. Matt Anderson's just started his lap, and here is Rego. He's had this lap disallowed, so he'll be going again. I will try and get you a full lap on board with someone. But let's try it now with Gregor. Hopefully he won't get off. So this is the pit straight down towards the source. Brake very, very hard down into second gear, 40 miles an hour, slowest corner on the circuit. A little bit of curb on the outside, and then, as I said before, the car picks up a lot of speed here. All the way down to Oru. Oru flat these days in these Formula 1 cars. Pop out over the top over Randall. That's straight now, they're on to up to about 210 miles an hour in the highest powered cars. Just under that here in the McLaren. Down this lake on fourth gear, 90 miles an hour through the main chicane. Back on the power, 115. That's Malmedy, the right-hander. start dropping back downhill again. Huge elevation changes here into reverse. So easy to snap the brake and run a little bit wide. Just about burned there. This little left-hander here is called Lycée. Took years to learn what that corner was called. It's called Lycée or school corner. Along the short back straight, up about 185 miles an hour into floor. Flip down a couple of gears, 150 on the apex, and then just keep acceleration all the way through the exit. Up to around 190 miles an hour into the Fania chicane. About 100 miles an hour through the first part. Then into the second part, about 105. Then over to left-hand side for Stablo, not 85 miles an hour on the apex. A lot of curve on the inside and the exit. Second part, again these days, just an acceleration going on, back into the original circuit now. All the way up towards Blanchimont as Patrick goes faster. What an effort from him in the Renault. Into Blanchimont, this is the main part of Blanchimont. Again, absolutely flat, 195 miles an hour. Down towards the bus stop chicane, just brake as late as you dare for this corner. Down to 50 miles an hour. And then just have to be patient on the throttle there on the exit. He's spin up the rear tyres and he goes across the line and he's gone 8th on that lap. So thank goodness I finally managed to get a onboard lap of the track on there with you. Here is Ant Waddington, he's on his out lap. Here's Scott Larvey now come through to complete his lap. Current order is Patrick in the Renault from Anthony Bauer. Great effort from Patrick once again in that Renault. Ollie 3rd, Dan Blackwell is 4th. He's also in the medium tyres. So is Jamie Keats in the Haas. Callum 6th, 7th Sam, 8th Gregor, 9th for Matt Anderson. Here comes Scott Larvin and he goes up to 8th. So a fraction slower than the McLaren. In fact, he splits the two McLarens. So just now waiting for the last 4 with only the top 10 going through to the pole position shootout. We already know Steve Harrison will be starting 15th on the grid after his crash in qualifying. So that's it all, and Scott's run off the track there. But Ant Wallington's also on the medium tyres. His teammate hasn't set a lap time either actually, so the two Mercedes leaving quite late. And interestingly as well, the two Mercedes have split the strategy. Dean Barry's gone for a set of softs, whereas Ant Waddington here is on the mediums. Arthur Bowler's gone back out as well, and he too has switched to the soft tyres. So we said that earlier on. After his spin in the first attempt, he may have to switch to the soft tyres, and that's exactly what he's done. His teammate though is up in 3rd, also on the soft tyres. So let's see how Hank does. As he comes through the last chicane. And he goes across the line and he goes up to 3rd. So that should be him safely through. That's a good lap from him on those medium tyres. And look at that, Arthur Bowler in the Racing Point goes fastest, a fraction quicker than Patrick. So good effort here. Great to see someone other than Ferrari, Mercedes and Red Bull up the front. We've got a Racing Point and a Renault. Can you imagine if the race starts like that? That would be fantastic. We've got 5 minutes to go in this session. Arthur Bowler fastest from Patrick. We've got 2 cars yet to sell a lap time. Here is one of them. It's Ryan Sturman in the Alfa Romeo. Had a great first qualifying in Hungary. Timed it very, very well in Hungary with the rain starting to come down, and he ended up getting through and started 8th on the grid. So that's a great effort from him for his first race, and he goes 9th. So he'll also be looking to get through. I'm going to see if I can get Stephen in for a quick interview after his spin in the first part of qualifying. So good effort there as And yes, Dean's gone fastest, massively faster than everyone else. I've got Stephen Harrison with me. Stephen, just make sure your audio's included, please, mate, so everyone can hear you.
Yeah, it is.
Sweet. So, you had a spin there. What happened?
I'm having a bad day. I don't know, I wasn't even pushing. I'd done my lap. I was just cruising, just testing a couple of corners limits, and I tested that one a bit too much, I think. Touched it as soon as I spun.
Yeah, I think you found the limit on that one.
Yeah, as soon as the car went, I touched it, that was it. I was like, whatever. A bit angry about it, to be fair.
Yeah. Do you like this racetrack as a whole? You've been looking forward to this weekend?
Nope. I had a bit of pace about it, but like, I've definitely been in top 3. Well, I've just,
now the last couple of races, you've lost quite a chunk of the championship lead. Are you starting to feel the pressure a little bit now? Because your lead's been cut quite dramatically, down to 28 points now. Are you starting to feel it a little bit?
No, I have a couple of points in hand, obviously, when it gets to the end of the season. So far, as long as I don't crash out any more and lose any more points, I've got a few points in hand.
Yes, of course, you drop your 3 lowest scores, don't you? So.
Yeah, and I've had 3. I've had 2 no finishes, and then I got 1 point at Monaco for fastest lap, putting up pole. But yeah, so if I was to lose my 3 now, I lose 2 zeros and a 1. And my closest person to me, they actually finished most of their races, so they'll lose more points. So I've got a bit more of a gap at the minute.
So it's not too bad at the moment. And just very quickly before I go back to the action, how do you think you're going to get on there from 15? It's going to be a tough fight from there. What are you aiming for now?
I'll aim for top 5 because I know I could get there. It's just that first lap, mate. Get that first lap out of the way. First quarter of a lap out of the way. As long as nobody brakes or slows down too much in front of me, up Rouge, I should be cushed it. I think I'll make it up there. There'll be a couple of safety cars. Good.
Good. Well, thank you for joining us. It's great to hear from the drivers.
No problem.
And have a good race.
Enjoy it.
Thank you very much. So, back to the action. This is Gregor. He's gone out again on another set of soft tyres. Actually, the same set of soft tyres in the McLaren. Callum's still in the pits. He's 11th at the moment. A minute and a half to go. And Callum is out as well, actually. Callum is on a lap. There he is, starting his lap. So we've got just under a minute and a half to go. Now, Ryan Sermon has come into the pit, so he will not be improving. So it's all about these bottom 4. Matt Anderson's out as well. And Patrick's also gone out for another run on a brand new set of medium tyres. So let's see how Callum gets on. Can he get that Williams into the top 10? He needs to find about 3.5 tenths of a second at the moment to get into the top 10. He's a fraction down in the first sector. Let's see how everyone else is getting on. Sam is quite a lot up in the middle sector. He's 8 tenths of a second up, and that will see him into 9th at the moment as things stand. So let's have a look. Here comes Sam Congreve in the McLaren. Don't forget, Joe Tipton to have a very strong race. Needs to get into the top 10, and he goes 7th. So a good recovery lap. That's knocked out Ryan Sturman. Jamie Keats is on his out lap as well. He'll just get that lap in, and he's gone for a set of softs. We saw him on the mediums before. So let's see who else is going to be at the end of the lap. Matt Anderson is just coming through the final chicane. Might just get one more lap in if he crosses the line in time, and he goes up to 6th. So good effort from there in the second Renault. Patrick didn't start his lap. Ryan Sturman is going to be 11th on the grid. Scott failed to improve. He stays in 13th. Here comes Callum. He is a fraction up, but I don't think this is quite going to be enough, unfortunately, in this Williams. He does a 46.6. He does improve by a fraction, but he remains in 12th position. And Gregor has stopped out on track. So there we have our top 10 shootout Greg has gone in the McLaren. Obviously, we knew about Stephen Harrison earlier, but Gregor will start 14th on the grid. Scott Larvin, well, I reckon he'll be relatively pleased with that. 13th in Toro Rosso. Callum, I think, will be very pleased. 12th position in that Williams, definitely improving as the season's going on. And Ryan Sturman in his second race, not a bad qualifying record so far though, 8th and 11th in his first 2 races in the league. Wouldn't surprise me to see the likes of Jamie and Dan just abandon their laps. Yes, Dan has, and I think Jamie might as well, because these two set their initial lap times on the medium tyres. They don't need to complete these laps. So they could then start on the medium tyres. If Jamie completes this lap, it will mean he will have to start on these tyres, if, of course, he improves. And Jamie does abandon his lap. So Matt Anderson making his way back to the pits as well. He's not improving. So that's your top 10. Dean Barry with a stunning lap time there in the Mercedes. Arthur Bowler, a good job as well in the Racing Point. Patrick Orozco 3rd, Anthony Bauer 4th, and Waddington 5th, Matt Anderson 6th in the Renault, Ollie 7th, he did make it to the top 10 in his home Grand Prix in the Racing Point, Sam Congreve 8th in the McLaren, 9th Dan Blackwell, and Jamie Keats just scrapes in at the last minute, he is 10th. We lose Ryan Sturman, Callum Harrod, Scott Larvin and Gregor Telford. And actually Dan Blackwell, Jamie Keats somehow jumped up into 8th position there. Yeah, sorry, this timing screen's all going a bit mad there. Yes, timing screen's all jumping around. These are the same positions. So that is our top 10. We're waiting now for Q3 to start. So there we see confirmation. Apparently there was some problems with the AI controlling it, the cars toward the end there, so don't think that will affect them for the start of Q3. So if anyone as well is watching the stream and they do want to shout out, please leave a comment either on Facebook or on the Twitch chat feed itself. I will try and read them as the race is going on or just before the race starts. I will try and get to them and read them. So we're now into Q3. 12 minutes of this session, and we do actually only have 8. I think Patrick Horosco and Arthur Bowler are going to be starting 9th and 10th through no fault of their own, unfortunately. I think that's what the computer's done. I think Arthur Bowler is going to be 9th and Patrick Horosco 10th. It's a shame for them. Yes, Patrick was looking for another strong qualifying, and he is going to be starting. I think they will take the lap times from Q2 here and apply them to Q3, so that would put Arthur 9th on the grid and Patrick 10th. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but that is what I understand will happen. So Jamie Keats, first car out in the Haas, again making it into Q3 in the Haas. Really having a good few races here is the Haas. So Jamie at the moment is sitting in 10th place in the championship. He's on 86 points, scored a lot of points at the last race, had a great run to 5th in the end. He actually had a qualifying ban, if you remember, in Hungary. Started at the back of the grid, that pulled off some very, very good and impressive overtaking moves to come home 5th. Don't forget, as well in this session, whoever does sit on pole position does get an extra point. So although excuse me, all those points will add up, of course, as the season goes on, but you do get an extra point for pole position. So a little bit of an extra incentive. But at the moment, of course, we've only got one Red Bull, we've only got one Ferrari in Q3 after Stephen crashed, and now... sorry, it's Ollie, actually, who was knocked out qualifying. It was Ollie, not Arthur. Arthur's just started his lap. So in that case, that will probably put Patrick Knight on the grid and Ollie into 10th. So unlucky for those two. But here is Jamie Arthur Bowler, already halfway through his lap. Everyone, of course, on the soft tyres. So let's see how he can do. Has a few strong qualifying performances. Normally he's in the middle of the top 10 somewhere, is Arthur. So we'll definitely be looking to repeat that if he can. Of course, only 8 in this session. As he comes through Lafania down towards Stavelo. And it's a long climb back up to the final chicane. Of course, he's fastest in the middle sector. But Anthony Bauer is behind him, going even quicker. So Arthur is going to be provisionally on pole, but expect to see Anthony Bauer in the Ferrari nicking it from him. Matt Anderson, surprisingly, staying in the pits. Here is Anthony Bauer, won the last 2 races, as Arthur Bowler does a 44.7. Good lap from him, but I think Anthony Bauer's about to smash that 43.8 as Dan Blackwell pits. Here comes Jamie Keeks. What can he do? He does a 44.9. Dean goes second. And here comes Ant Waddington coming through the final chicane. He'll want to get at least close to his teammate. And he goes 4th, just in front of Jamie Keats at the moment. Here comes Sam Congreve in the McLaren, and he is 6th. So we've got 2 cars yet to sell a lap time. It's Dan Blackwell in the Red Bull, and Matt Anderson, who hasn't been out yet. Dan must have made a mistake somewhere on his lap and decided to abort it. So that's the end of the first part qualifying. Being such the first run of this final part qualifying, being such a long lap here, they struggle to get 2 runs in. That's why we've seen them out very, very early in the session, because it's such a long lap. You're looking at a good 5.5, 6 minutes per run, and of course only 12-minute session doesn't leave you a lot of time. So Dan Blackwell's back out again. I think this will be his only run though. I don't think he's going to have enough time to come back in again. So leaving himself a little bit under pressure. He will be a little bit relieved in one way. Stephen Harrison starting way down the grid, because his other championship rival now is Anthony Bauer. He's just gone past him in the World Championship. And he, at the moment, is sitting pretty on pole position. So, well, we said this Red Bull might struggle for pace with that Honda engine. And when we spoke to Joe earlier, he said, didn't he, that we'll try and get some cars to use as a tow. Unfortunately for him, he's only got 2 cars in this Q3, which is Dan in the Red Bull and Sam Congreve in the McLaren. They're the only 2 from him that are in Q3. I know Michael Booker was very happy after Hungary because he was the only manager to have every single one of his cars finish. So he was very happy. He'll certainly one of the managers will be looking to repeat that again today. So Dan Blackwell coming around to start his probably one and only flying lap. The only car on track as well. So he's taking it nice and gently through this out lap. Hasn't pushed too much and kept a lot of life in those tyres. As he comes down to last source, let's see what he can do. It is such a long run here. Full throttle as there comes Arthur out of the pits again. Full throttle all the way now up to Lake Horn. Maybe not in the race. You might see them certainly at the start of the race just lifting off in there with the extra fuel, but it is amazing to think these days. It's so much easier at Eau Rouge. Still a daunting challenge, but so much easier than these modern F1 cars. So as he comes through Beau Rivage, through that little left-hander release, all very, very wide, so nearly hit the wall there. Just about kept that out of the wall. Well done. Into Pouot. So much commitment needed there. It is so easy to just run a little bit wide. This is the part of the track where the Red Bull should be pretty good. The handling part of the circuit. We always see that Red Bull looking good through the corners. But this is where he's going to struggle all the way up to the bus stop chicane. And there you can see his speed looks struggling to even hit 200 miles an hour there in that Red Bull. That's how much they're struggling for straight line speed with that Honda engine. A few others now out on track as well. Still waiting for Matt Anderson to leave the pits. Maybe he won't be setting a lap time. Let's see where Dan goes. He goes third. So good effort from him in the Red Bull. If he's got the fuel, he might do another lap, but I don't think he will. He could always do a slow down lap and then try again on the same set of tyres. He's got enough time to do that. So here comes Arthur Bowler, fourth on the grid. Second row would be a fantastic effort from him in that racing point. Let's see what he can do on this lap. Had a great race in Hungary. Both racing points right down at the back at one point, but ended up coming through, both scoring strong points into the first, into Lake Com. He's a tenth and a half up in the first sector, so that is enough. He's a fraction behind Dan Blackwell, so that could be the fight. Of course, starting third on the grid will have the clean side of the racetrack, which will please him. Give you that little bit extra grip off the line. Let's see if he can maintain that. He's nearly a second off pole position, but he might possibly be looking at Dean Barry's time in second place. Only 4 tenths behind that. So, could he aim for that? Let's have a look into Savilo. We'll soon get an idea. And he's a quarter of a second up, and the fastest middle sector of anyone. So I've noticed a few times that racing point really is well set up, and it seems to be again. Who knows here? If he can find 10th and a half in the final sector, it's not out of the realms of possibility. He could pop it on the front row here. Let's have a look. The racing point of Arthur Bowler comes through the final corner, and he goes across the line, and he goes up to third. Not quite fast enough in the end. About 3 tenths of a second. Not quite enough. Matt Anderson has now joined us on track. Here is Ant Waddington. Let's see what Anthony Bauer's doing in the Ferrari. Current pole sitter. Can he improve on this lap? We've got a minute to go now in Q3. And still Anthony Bauer sits on pole position. And Dean Barry goes fastest. Dean Barry has snatched it by 9,000 of a second. Yes, Anthony Bauer snatches it back again. Wow, that was close. Dean Barry by 9,000 of a second ticket, and then Anthony Bauer snatched it back again. 1:43.602. Here is Ant Waddington. He's a 10th up. If he finds another 10th and a half, he could nick it onto the second row. So Jamie Keats also on a lap, but Ant Waddington is a 10th up in the middle sector. Let's see what he can do as he crosses the line. And he remains in 5th, and actually in the end only improved by a fraction. So Jamie Keats currently in 6th position. If he finds a 10th, he will take 5th from Ant Waddington, and he's half a second up. Where would that put him? He could be looking at 3rd place here. The checkered flag is now out. If Jamie Keats can finish this lap, he could be up in 3rd. He's half a second up on his previous best. So, or at least the second row of the grid here, 3rd or 4th, if he can maintain that pace. Jamie Keats crosses the line, and he goes 3rd. He does go 3rd. What a lap from Jamie Keats. And Waddington's gone again. He's a couple of tenths up. Sam Congreve, likewise, is half a second up, but he is quite a long way off the back. Matt Anderson's gone 7th. Matt Anderson's gone 7th. Here comes Sam Congreve, and he retakes that 7th place away from Matt. So what can Ant Waddington do? Yes, Dean's in the pits. What can Ant do? He is 3 tenths up in the middle sector, so this could be... He could take 5th here. At this pace, it is just about enough. But Anthony Bauer, at the moment, is on pole position. As he comes through. And as Ant's backed out of the lap, he made a mistake in the final sector. So there we have our grid for the 3rd race in a row. Anthony Bauer takes pole position. He gets the extra point. And again, for the 3rd race in a row, it's Dean Barry alongside him in the Mercedes. What a qualifying we had there. Jamie Keats 3rd. Arthur Bowler, great result from him in the Racing Point to be 4th. Dan Blackwell 5th. And Waddington in 6th. Sam Congreve 7th. Matt Anderson 8th. And then Patrick and Ollie, we saw them very unlucky, but they are starting 9th and 10th on the grid. So there we see confirmation of the grid. We're now just going to have a short break. I will be back in a couple of minutes for the start of the Belgian Grand Prix. So I'm back. Good evening and welcome everyone to the Belgian Grand Prix. You join us here this evening at the fabulous Spa-Francorchamps circuit, one of the finest racetracks in the world, and it's also one of the greatest challenges on the calendars for all the drivers. The circuit itself is near the towns of Stavelot and Malmedy in the southeast of Belgium. It used to be a monster of a circuit in the original days of Formula 1. It was nearly 9 miles long, all on public roads. But F1 went away back in 1978 after it was deemed unsafe, and then returned in the 1980s using some of the original circuit, but also using a purpose-built track. It's seen a number of modifications since then, especially down at the bus stop chicane, but this layout has been in use since 2007, and it still has the original character of the circuit, and it has several of the best corners in Formula 1, like Pouhon, Blanchimont, and of course the iconic Eau Rouge corner. The track now is just over 7 kilometres long, that's 4.35 miles, has 19 turns, 11 to the right, 8 to the left, 2 DRS zones to look out for during the race, one along the pit straight between the bus stop chicane and La Source, and one after Eau Rouge on the long run up to Les Combes along the Camel Straight. It is a home race this evening for one of our drivers, Olivier Cernan, in the Racing Point. He'll be hoping to follow in the footsteps of Belgium's best Formula 1 driver in history, which was Jackie Ickx. He won 8 Grand Prix in his time. He was also twice runner-up in the World Championship. But amazingly, he didn't have the best record at his home track. He had a best result here of 3rd, but had several retirements here. The other factor to remember here, shouldn't be an issue this evening, but is weather. Being up in the Ardennes Mountains here, we've seen a lot of unpredictable and wet weather over the years. And who can forget the amazing race of 1998 with a massive 13-car pile-up at the start. Michael Schumacher running into the back of Davy Coulthard while leading the race. And a first ever win for the Jordan team, thanks to Damon Hill on that day. And 1-2 as well, of course, for Jordan. Then with his teammate Ralf Schumacher coming home in 2nd. Ralph's brother Michael is the most successful driver of all time here. He's won this race on 6 different occasions. Ayrton Senna's won here 5 times as well in the past. And Ferrari, unsurprisingly, are the most successful team in history here. They have won this race 18 times. The lap record, we could get close to that here this evening. Look out for that. It was set in 2018 by Valtteri Bottas, and it was a 146.286. Look out for that later on in the race, especially as drivers go for the extra point or for fastest lap. Also the extra 2 points for outside of the top 10, setting the fastest lap as well. Just to run through the grid for you, just a quick reminder, don't forget that Jamie Cannon is not racing this evening. He has received a penalty and a race ban after the incident in Hungary. So just to go through the grid for you, Anthony Bauer for the 3rd race in a row starts in pole position. Dean Barry for the 3rd race in a row starts in 2nd place. Let's see how those two. Anthony Bauer's really had the measure of Dean for the last 2 races. Let's see if that can continue. Mistake, of course, from Dean in Hungary. But even so, Anthony Bauer really has had the pace on Dean in the last 2 races. Jamie Keats, a fantastic effort in the Haas to come in 3rd place. Arthur Bowler, likewise, also a good effort from him in the Racing Point to start 4th. Dan Blackwell, 3rd in the championship, failed to finish in Hungary. He lines up in 5th position in the Red Bull. Good result from him with the lack of horsepower from the Honda engine. Ant Waddington, 6th in the 2nd of the 2 Mercedes. Sam Congreve, also a fine effort from him as well, in 7th in the 1st of the McLarens. Matt Anderson, 8th in the Renault. Patrick Horosco and Ollie Cernan, I believe, will line up 9th and 10th. They were caught out at the end of Q2. Unlucky for them. Ryan Sturman in the Alfa Romeo. He lines up in 11th position. Callum Harrod will be delighted. He lines up 12th for Williams. In 13th position, we've got Scott Larvin in the Toro Rosso, as the drivers now setting off on their parade lap. So this isn't the start of the race. Don't worry, I haven't missed anything. Gregor Telford in the 2nd of the 2 McLaren lines up in 14th position. Stephen Harrison, after his spin, we heard from him during qualifying. He spun, testing the limits of the corners on his in-lap, believe it or not, but Stephen Harrison lines up in 15th position, the World Championship leader. In 16th position is Joe Newman. We were on board with him at the time when he spun out at Eau Rouge. 17th position is Gareth Lambourne. He'll be looking to bring the car home once again in some points. He's been doing that so consistently this season in the Haas. In 18th position we have Andrew in the second of the two Williams, and in 19th position with a qualifying ban was Matt Goodyear in the Alfa Romeo. So that is your grid just while they're on the parade lap. The World Championship, Stephen Harrison leads that by 28 points from his teammate. Of course, don't forget they do drop the 3 worst results at the end of the season, so he has got a little bit of play in that yet. Still got a few points spare, but of course if he has another bad result, as he said earlier on, he will be losing quite a few points. Dan Blackwell is third in the championship. Those are the 3. There's 29 points separating the top 3 in the Drivers' World Championship. A few other little battles in the Drivers' Championships to look out for as well. Brendan Telford is on 88 points. He's only 2 ahead of Jamie Keats, who of course is on a great run and is third on the grid here as well, so look out for that one. In the Constructors' Championship, Ferrari is not quite sewn up yet, but it's not far away. They're 189 points clear at the top of the World Championship there. Mercedes are second on 281, but there's a great battle going on. So look out for these teams during the race. There's such a big battle going on. We've got Red Bull, 2 points. They are third in the championship. They're 2 points clear of Renault, who are 10 points clear of Racing Point, who are 16 clear of Haas. So that is a big battle to look out for. And also Alfa Romeo and Toro Rosso only 12 points apart from each other in 8th and 9th in the Constructors' Championship. So the drivers are all lining back up on the grid now. So Anthony Bauer on the left, Dean Barry on the right, Jamie Keats behind the Ferrari, Arthur Bowler behind the Mercedes, and behind that we've got Dan Blackwell and Ant Waddington lining up on row 3. So here we go. You know what happens next. 5 lights to come on. When they all go out, the race will be go. Held for a long time, but he's lights out. Away we go. Great start there from Anthony Bauer. Jamie Keats has had a pretty decent start as well. Look at Dan coming down the inside as well. Dan's had a fantastic start. Dan Blackwell's completely outbraked himself, and I think he's broken the front wing of Anthony Bauer. There was definite contact there, but Dean Barry now has taken the lead. There's a yellow flag in sector 1. I think it's one of the Mercedes is off. No, it's not. It's Scott Larvey. Scott Larvey's off. Dan Blackwell is waiting too hard. Now Dean Barry from right down the safety car is out. The virtual safety car has been deployed. All that damage down to 1. I think Anthony Bauer has got some damage. Dan Blackwell just came in way too hot. He had such a good start, but just came in way too hot into turn 1. Completely outbraked himself, but definite contact with the Ferrari there. Let's have a yes, you can see the left-hand end plate there. Anthony's right-hand side of the front wing end plate has gone. So let's see how that affects him. Callum's had a great start as well in the Williams, up into 9th position. Stephen Harrison's gained 1 place under the virtual safety car. We heard from Stephen, he reckons there'll be a couple of safety cars here. We've already got one on lap 1. I think they're just probably recovering the debris from turn 1, because we saw Scott Larvin drop down. I think he's got damage. I think he just spun, but we're back underway again. And Jamie Keats has taken the lead. Jamie Keats was so much more prepared, but I think he's going to have to let, yes, he's had to let the Mercedes through. He jumped kind of a little too quickly there, and now he's going to be under pressure from Arthur Bowler. Dean Barry retakes the lead. Jamie run wide, and Arthur Bowler's going to be alongside him here. This could be 2 or 3 abreast, because look at Ant Waddington just behind. This is going to be close. Ant's on the grass. He's had to back out of that one. But Arthur Bowler round the outside has taken the second place. What a move there, and a bit of oversteer there from... Well, Ant Waddington spun. Ant Waddington's made a mistake coming out of Blanchimont. We saw him on the grass. He's lost his front wing. Well, we saw him on the grass. He lost grip on his tyres, and he has now made a mistake. Ant Waddington is going to be having to make a very early stop here. Anthony Bauer is in the pits as well, and so is Olivier Cernan in the Racing Point. Those 3 are pitting straight away. Perfect in the way for Dan Blackwell. He's up into 4th place, but Dean Barry leads. Look at Arthur Bowler there in the racing point, and the full safety car is deployed. The full safety car is being deployed. So I'm not quite sure what's happened. I think, yes, that Waddington's in. So is Patrick. Ryan Sturman's coming as well. Wow, what a lot of action already here in the first couple of laps. Dean Barry leads the race with under safety car. So that's why we've got very excited about the start of the race, and almost immediately it's come to a grinding halt. Dean Barry leads. Arthur Bowler, what an opportunity this is for him in that racing point. He's in 2nd position. Jamie Keats is 3rd. Just overshot the gun a little bit there behind the virtual safety car. He had to keep the position back. That put him out, lost momentum, and that's what enabled Arthur Bowler. Great move from Arthur around the outside of Blanchimont to make that stick. There is Dan Blackwell. Now he started in 5th on the grid, but he's managed to just about avoid the chaos. Don't forget, he was the one who just trod on the front wing of Anthony Bauer and broke it. But in a lot of ways, this safety car is perfect for those who've had to stop already, because they can now cruise back up to the back of the safety car. Like, it's such a long lap here. The safety car is waiting for them between the pit lane exit and Eau Rouge. There's still going to be a while before they get there. Just trying to do the best. Sam Convery is up to 5th in the McLaren. Matt Anderson, he's 6th now for Renault. Look at Callum Harron having such a good start to this race. He's running in 7th place in that Williams. What a start he's had. Joe Newman as well, 16th on the grid. He's up into 8th now. So he's had a good start. Stephen Harrison started back in 15th. Don't forget, he's up to 9th. Gareth Lambourne, well, he does this along as Gareth. He does keep himself out of trouble the majority of the time. And he started 17th on the grid, and he's up into 10th place. Matt Goodyear started at the back of the qualifying van. He's up to 11th place. Gregor Telford is 12th in the second of the 2 McLarens. Then we have Scott Larvin in 13th position in the second racing point. Andrew is 14th. So we know he was disappointed after Hungary and Germany both retiring on the first lap. So at least that run for him has come to an end. He has made it into lap 3 this time at least. There's Anthony Bauer. He's now got a big job to do here this afternoon. He's started on pole, but he's now down in 15th position after the move on by Dan in the first corner. Ollie Cernan, he'll be so disappointed. Started 10th. He's now had to make an early stop. He's in 16th position. Patrick Carrasco likewise. He's 17th. And Waddington 18th in the Mercedes. And from what I can see there, Ant was trying to get alongside Arthur and Jamie on the run to Blanchimont. Got himself on the grass, backed out of it, but then he had grass on his tyres, and when he tried to commit to Blanchimont, just lost the back end, hit the wall, connected with the wall. I'm actually wondering if he might have connected with possibly Patrick or Ollie, who weren't that far behind there. I think that might be why they had to stop as well. And then Ryan Sturman is currently last. So, well, what a lot of action we've had already at the start of this race. We're only on lap 3. And, well, that's a sign for things to come. I'm really looking forward to this. Behind the safety car, not uncommon of course, safety car here. We've had a lot over the years. That race I mentioned earlier back in 1998, we had a couple of safety cars then, and most races here, especially when the rain does fall, it does end up with a safety car here. So the other thing here is as well, everyone except for Patrick, who's pitted already, have got a set of medium tyres. So they'll be going quite a long way. Patrick's on to a set of soft tyres. So well, look out for him at the start. At the restart, because he will be trying to come through the field as quickly as possible. We saw in Germany, he's not afraid to overtake people. He's got Ollie right in front of him. In front of that is Anthony Bauer. So what kind of dent is this going to put in the World Championship here for Anthony Bauer? He's already 28 points behind. And at the moment, 15th position. His teammate started 15th. He's up to 9th. And Dan Blackwell 4th. So we're under safety car. Can't see any reason why I won't be pitting at the end of this lap. The whole field have caught up. But I don't know about you, I'm looking for this. It's a great start to the race. So much action going on. So let's see. Running behind that safety car. Beautiful car, the safety car, the Mercedes SLS. Tuned up a little bit more, of course, but still going at pedestrian pace compared to the Formula 1 cars. And the incredible thing is here as well, we've got 9 different teams in the top 9. That's the other incredible thing here. We've got Mercedes from Racing Point, from Haas, from Red Bull, from McLaren, from Renault, from Williams, from Toro Rosso, from Ferrari. The only team in the top 10 to have both their cars in is Haas, actually. Gareth Lambourne in 10th position. So safety car is in this lap. So Dean Barry now effectively becomes the safety car. It will be up to him when he decides to floor it. Arthur Bowler will be the one to watch. Look out for Jamie as well. We saw under the virtual safety car, he's not afraid to go for it. And here we go. A bit of a gap there in the midfield. They might close that up a little bit, but here we go. Dean's actually followed the safety car quite closely. And they're going to boot it out the final corner. Here we go. And Arthur Bowler's retired. Arthur Bowler's out of the race. There's a wheel missing. He's spotted coming out the corner. Arthur Bowler coming out of the final corner. At the end of the safety car lap, he's out of the race. Can you believe it? We've got another one of the top men out of the race already. Arthur Bowler is out. And, well, that's helping Harry a lot. Because he's now got a clear track in front of him. There is Jamie King's now promoted to 2nd position. And he's not under any pressure. Arthur Bowler, unbelievable. Just tried to put a bit too much power into the rear tyres coming out of the final corner at the end of the safety car lap. And he's paid the price, he's hit the wall. So meanwhile, Stephen Harrison is now up into 6th position. He's flying through the field, he's got past Joe Newman. Of course Arthur Bowler's out, he's now got past Callum as well. And we've got Gareth falling back through the field. He's under a lot of pressure. He's got Anthony Bauer right there with him as well. Look at this little lot here. Scott, Brendan, Gareth, Anthony Bauer, Patrick, Andrew, and Wellington, Brian Sturman, Ollie, all in there. Ollie's made a mistake somewhere else. He's fallen back through the field. Here comes Gareth defending the position hard. And he's let... Oh, there's a bit of contact there. Patrick's come through. Gareth's run wide. And Patrick Savage is running again, I think. That was brave, but a little bit foolish there by Patrick. I think he's got a little bit of... No, he seems to have got away with it. Maybe it's Gareth with the front wing damage. That was unbelievable. And Gareth and Andrew now close together. But look at this little battle now. Scott Larkin in 10th position. And Stephen Harrison gets past Matt Anderson up into 5th position. Scott Larkin here, 10th, with Greg Telford right behind him. Dean, unsurprisingly, sets fastest lap of the race. Scott runs a little bit wide there, but look at right behind Greg Telford. I said look out for Renault, and he's all over the back of Greg Telford. As damage to one, and and Greg has gone defensive. Patrick trying to hang it out around the outside. Scott Hardy's in the middle of all this. This is going to be brave for Patrick down into O'Rourke, and I think he's going to make it stick. Oh my goodness me, so nearly contact. But in the end, Scott decided just back out of that one. Patrick is absolutely flying through the field. Don't forget, he was down there in about 16th, 17th position at the end of the safety car. He's now up into 10th place. Unbelievable start. As now Anthony Bauer gets past Gregor as well, up in 12th place. What a load of action going on down here. Also, just in front, we've got Dan Blackwell now up into 3rd place. He's got Sam Congreve and Stephen Harrison very, very close behind him. But let's have a look at this. This is Anthony Bauer. This is going to be brave into Poole when he thinks better of it in the end. And Stephen Harrison is past Sam. Stephen is up into 4th place. Meanwhile, out front, Dean Barry leads now by 2.5 seconds from Jamie Keats. Dan Blackwell is hanging on just about to that pass. Stephen Harrison now up into 4th place. And don't forget, he said after the crash in qualifying, he was aiming for top 5 as Dan runs number 5. He's already up into 4th place. He could be looking at the podium here today with Stephen Harrison. And a lot of the top drivers down near the back as well, of course. Dean really trying to make a break for it. Great lap there, 49.5. As they now start lap 7 of this race. 44 lap race, don't forget. Scott Larvin and Anthony Bauer look like they're having a good battle there, and Ant Waddington joining in as well. And Ant's having a look down the inside. He's going to make this stick. I think Anthony Bauer's going to have to break it through that. Greg is into the pits. And Anthony Waddington up into 12th place. Great move from him. But Anthony's not giving up on this one. As they come flying through Eau Rouge. The car looks to be very much on edge there. The DRS has been enabled. And now... and a virtual safety car. There's another car off. And can you believe it? Is Andrew out of the race again? So unlucky, he's lost it at the top here. I'm going to try riding on board with Ollie, who's going to be the next car through. He has spun it at Eau Rouge. I was just saying, a lot of the cars look like they're right on the edge in terms of grip here. And there you can see he spun. That's exactly what Joe Newman did in qualifying. And he becomes our 2nd retirement of the day. DRS has been enabled. We're out of the virtual safety car now. Oh, what a start to this race already. 2 retirements, so much action, so much overtaking. Look at this battle going on here. Dan Blackwell's made a good restart here. But look how close this is. Stephen Harrison 4th, Sam Congreve in 5th, Matt Anderson having a great race in 6th place in the Renault. Matt Goodyear is 7th. Don't forget he started at the back. As now, there we see Anthony Bauer finally past Scott Larvin. Scott doesn't look like he's quite given up on that position yet. But he's going to have to. I think that Ferrari is going to be so much stronger, especially in a straight line. So lap 8, Dean Barry's lead is out to 2.5 seconds. The next battle we're going to see here, I think, is this one here. Dan Blackwell in the Red Bull, dropping back from the Haas. Jamie King's having a fine race there in 2nd place at the moment. And here we go, Stephen Harrison's going to go try up the inside, and what a move that was. These 2 championship rivals, don't forget, fighting wheel to wheel. But now, Stephen Harrison, I think with the greatest straight line speed and power from that Ferrari engine, he breezes past Dan and up into 3rd place. Can you believe it? I think if you had said to Stephen at the end of qualifying, 15th on the grid, he'd be 3rd on lap 8, he would have probably laughed at you. But there's been so much action, so many incidents already in this race. But that is exactly what has happened. Race order, Dean Barry leads by 3 seconds now from Jamie Keats. Stephen Harrison, as I said, brilliantly up into 3rd position. 4th for Dan Blackwell in the Red Bull. Sam Congreve driving well as well in 5th. Matt Anderson as well in 6th. Matt Goodyear is 7th. Callum Harrod, here he is, is in 8th position. He's now got Patrick Orozco swarming all over the back of him. What a restart Patrick's having. Don't forget, he was in 16th position, 16th or 17th position behind the safety car. He is now up into 9th position and all over the back of Callum Harrod. So this is a good fight. Great to see Williams up in the top 10. How far can Callum go in this race? He's on the soft tyres. That in front is the Alfa Romeo, as Ant Wallington's just got past Joe Newman and up into 10th position. So they're all coming through the field. This is absolutely brilliant stuff here. Patrick not quite close enough to the back of Callum. Despite the aerodynamic shortcomings of that Williams, it's still got a good engine in the back of it. And of course we know the Renault is probably the weakest engine in terms of power, maybe the second weakest, certainly not as strong as the Mercedes, but he's got a great run here. Can he make this one stick? Callum's going defensive. Patrick's got the DRS open. There's another yellow flag, there's another car off, it's a Toro Rosso, it's Joe Newman. This is what he did in qualifying. This time he hasn't retired, but he has damaged his front wing. So we're seeing a lot of incidents up there at Eau Rouge. Joe Newman off again. Meanwhile, Patrick has made it past Callum and up into 8th position. So Joe Newman's going to have to stop there with that front wing. Being passed out by Ryan Sturman as well. Ryan up into 13th position. So meanwhile, this is now becoming a battle. Jamie Keats in the Haas doing a fantastic job in 2nd position. He now has Stephen Harrison closing in on him. Dean Barry, meanwhile, is out to 4.5 seconds in front now in the lead. He knows he needs to push because Stephen Harrison coming through the field very, very quickly. He's going to be the main danger man. We're in lap 9 of the race. I'll be expecting to see a few of the cars who started on the soft tyres pitting soon. Of course, we've had a few laps behind the safety car, so that will stretch the life expectancy of those tyres out a little bit. So here we see Stephen Harrison now within DRS range of the Haas in front of him. Same range of course in the back of that Haas as in the works Ferrari. Behind them, Dan Blackwell is getting under pressure from the McLaren, believe it or not, of Sam Congreve. Having another good race is Sam up in 5th place there. You can see them in the background. Stephen not quite close enough this time. He's certainly getting very close though, but not quite close enough. That's still the move that Jamie was doing at Hungary when he was overtaking people. Stephen not quite close enough. Joe Newman does pit from 15th position, not so much time there. Anthony Bauer and Ant Wallington are having a good fight as well for 10th position. They're now homing in on Callum Harrod in the Williams. Unfortunately, with that Williams, I don't think it'll be too long before they're past him. Callum is now 3 seconds behind Patrick, who's homing in very quickly on his teammate, who is also right behind Matt Goodyear. There you can see the battle in the background. But Dean Barry is pulling away by about a second a lap at the moment. In the lead of the race, 5.5 seconds out of the lead as Jamie Keats. I think he's going to be powerless to defend against this Ferrari. This is going to be brave. This is where Ant Wallington came to blows early on in the race. But Jamie sees sense, lets the Ferrari tucks back into the slipstream. Is he going to go for it into the final chicane? No, quite a bit too far back, unfortunately. Couldn't quite make that one stick. As we now start another lap. On to lap 11, Stephen Harrison now is in 2nd place. Oh, James just outbraked himself. I was just going to say he could try using the slipstream and trying to get it. He has got the slipstream. He's going to get the DRS of course as well. Oh, he's run a little bit wide. He has got a penalty for that. He has got the slipstream. He's got the DRS. Does he have the straight line speed to have a look round the outside? Not quite. As they go through Lake Hong. Well, I think now Stephen Harrison can start pulling away as they come down into Rivage once again. Stephen really pushing that car hard. Ran a little bit wide there, Rivage. A little bit wide in Les Combes as well. So he's really pushing that Ferrari hard. And let's see how, it'll be interesting to see here just how well Jamie can keep up with him. Of course, same manager, of course. So it could have been a tactical decision there to swap places. I think the way that, Stephen's run a little bit wide and Jamie's through. Jamie's back through into second position. So I was just saying about there possibly being a tactical move there. Well, I think Stephen did look as if he pulled to one side there. Maybe he just has a bit of oversteer because he's coming back through again. And that definitely orchestrated that one there. Jamie just pulled right out of the way, blended out the throttle a little bit even there. So, does look as if to me Jamie Keats is now settling in for third place. But there's 6.5 seconds between this battle, nearly 7 seconds between this battle for second and the leader. Meanwhile, Dan Blackwell just closing up a little bit while these two have been fighting. He's been able to get a little bit of a gap between himself and Sam. Good battle going on behind that. Let's have a look. Here we go. This is Matt Goodyear in the Alfa Romeo. Started at the back. He's currently up in the 6th position, and behind him are the two Renaults. I don't think there's any team orders in the Renault team, so they should be 3 to 5 because Patrick going a lot faster, and they're wheel to wheel at the moment as they come down the strand. Yes, Patrick is through. Patrick is through into 7th place. What a recovery drive this is so far from Patrick. He is now up into 7th place as his teammate runs a little bit wide. So Matt Hansen, though, still having a good race. He's had a good season actually, Matt. He's scored over 100 points so far this season. And of course this is great. Don't forget, I mentioned the battle earlier on between Red Bull, Renault, Racing Point and Haas. Well, at the moment with Haas up in 3rd, with 2 Renaults 7th and 8th and only 1 Red Bull in the race, it is going to close it all right up. Unfortunately for Racing Point, they could have closed right in there as well. But Arthur Bowler made that mistake out of the final chicane at the end of the safety car period. So shame for them, but he's going to close right up here in this battle for 3rd. And it's also good for Mercedes. They're going to stretch away from that pack. So they're only about 20 points clear of that little group of cars. And at the moment, with Dean leading and Wellington up into 10th place, that's such a good battle going on there. And here we see it. Anthony Bauer in 9th position with Anne Wellington swarming all over the back of him in the Mercedes DRS Open. Callum is out behind these two by 4.5 seconds. He's 8 seconds clear of the Toro Rosso, so good opening sin here for Callum Harrod. Now can Ant Waddington get a move on the Ferrari as they come through Eau Rouge? Anthony Bauer really does want to keep that Ferrari, that Mercedes behind him. I don't think he's going to have much of a choice. Here we go. He's going defensive. Ant Waddington goes to the outside. So so much more straight line speed with the DRS Open. And Ant Waddington back into 9th position. But these two having a great battle here for 9th place. Both coming through the field, of course, after instance on lap 1. Ant Waddington spun coming out of Blanchimont. And Anthony Bauer, wasn't his fault. Dan Blackwell hit his front wing in the first corner. And made Anthony have to make a stop. So you've got to say at the moment though, Stephen Harrison, there he is in 2nd place. He isn't dropping Jamie Keats, he's making me think more and more that was a tactical move there by Michael Booker, their manager. He manages Ferrari, Haas and Racing Point. Of course, for the World Championship, this is crucial for Stephen because he's now the main one scoring points out of the 3 championship rivals and looks like he's extending his World Championship lead even further here. Joe Newman in the pits again, and he's now put on a set of hard tyres, and he has now been lapped by Dean Barry as well. Look at these two guys. Jamie Keats refusing to give up, maybe making a point here if it was a tactical move to get him out of the way for Stephen. Maybe he's just making a point here because he's hanging on very, very nicely in the Haas. In fact, he's had a great run out of the first corner. Dean Barry's lead, meanwhile, is out to 7.5 seconds. Don't forget, he's on the soft tyres. These two are on the medium tyres. Stephen started 15th, but Jamie managed to complete qualifying with the medium tyres on. And Jamie not quite close enough this time to have a look. They're 3.5 seconds clear of Dan now. He's now brought out to 3 seconds clear of Sam. He's made a bit of an error somewhere, because he's now got, here we see that video swarming all over the back of him. Patrick's dropped off a little bit. Maybe those soft tyres are starting to lose their grip as Anthony Barrow and Waddington doing their lap swap of position. Doing that every lap at the moment in the battle for 9th. So this is the closest battle on track at the moment, apart from the battle for seconds, which I suspect isn't quite a battle. I think Jamie's been told to stay there, but Matt Goodyear here, right on the tail of Sam Congreve. Good for Alfa Romeo at the moment, though, up in 6th position. I mentioned earlier they're only 12 points clear of Toro Rosso in the World Championship. So this is a good result at the moment as things stand for them. As Matt Goodyear continues to harry the McLaren ahead of him. Again, I think he would be amazed on lap 15 of the race to already be up into 6th position as Sam pits. So Sam is the first of the top 10 to pit. And so does Patrick. So yes, I think those soft tyres are starting to fade. Matt Goodyear started on the softs as well. So how much further can he go? Of course, don't forget that Sam did qualify on those tyres as well. So at least another 3 or so laps on those tyres. So both gone for a set of mediums. Sam comes out in 10th position, just ahead of Scott Larvin, with Patrick. Actually lost a little bit of ground there as Patrick. Ooh, a bit of a wobble there from Matt Goodyear. So now up into 7th place comes Anthony Bauer, and Waddington's up to 8th. Callum is up to 9th. We've seen him several times in the past make the tyres last for a very, very long time. Can he do that again here with a set of soft tyres here at Spa? He's 9th at the moment. So Dean's lead, I think his soft tyres are also starting to fade a little bit now. He is just losing ground a little bit to Stephen behind him. The gap's dropped to just under 7 seconds. Here is the race leader. I think he would have probably wanted a bit more of a lead here in this first stint on those soft tyres. I think it'll be more amazing than anyone to see that it's Stephen chasing him down now. Stephen's just found a little bit of pace. He's closing the gap. He's now pulled out to a 1.5 clear of Jamie. Behind him there is Dan in the background. In the Red Bull there. Behind that's Joe Newman being lapped. And then is Matt Goodyear up into 5th place in the Alfa Romeo. Matt Anderson up to 6th. He's just about being caught by Anthony Barrow and Waddington, but they're more interested in fighting themselves at the moment. Callum Harrod pits in the Williams. Here he is. He pits from what was 10th place. He's just been overtaken by Sam Congreve. So let's see where he comes out as Patrick gets past Scott Larvin. So Patrick lost out a little bit of time there in his pit stop. Not sure, maybe they changed the front wing possibly of that Renault. He was only about a second behind Sam. He's ended up 7 seconds behind him. So he's now back past Scott and up into 10th place once again. So here is Dean Barry. How much further into this race can he go? We're on lap 16. Don't forget he did qualifying on these tyres as well. I'd be surprised if those who pitted already do get those mediums to the end of the race. Maybe a couple more laps here. It should be possible. But it's still a great effort though to get these soft tyres almost a half race distance on these tyres. You add on the 3 laps from qualifying as well, that's 19 laps. He's going to make it 20 laps on these tyres. So good effort here from Dean Barry, really making those tyres last very, very well. So lap 17, Dean's lead is 7.5 seconds. There is Jamie Keats in the background. There you'll just see the Red Bull, there he is, of Dan Blackwell. Just in the background as well, you'll see the Alfa Romeo of Matt Goodyear. Anthony Bauer is 6th and Waddington is 7th. Matt Anderson, there he is in the pits. So he's going to drop back behind this man, Sam Congreve, and he will also drop behind his teammate as well. It's going to be quite close with Scott Larvin, I think. I think Scott might just make it through as well here. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. That's Gregor Telford out of the race. That's one of the McLaren. Gregor Telford has retired from the race. He spun at Blanchemont, we saw, and wanted to really retire there earlier. And now, yet another virtual safety car. Our second of the day, our third safety car period. Don't be surprised to see Dean fly into the pits here if he's close to the pit lane. We're not too far away. If we stay under virtual safety car, I wouldn't be too surprised to see Dean pit. But Gregor Telford spun at Blanchemont and he is out of the race. He becomes our third retirement of the day. Shame for him. He was hoping to get some good points in. Sitting 9th in the championship at the moment. 2 points ahead of Jamie Keats. I think that will be swapped around by the end of the day, if things stay as they are. So we're still under the virtual safety car here. What is Dean going to do? Is he going to pit or is he going to stay out? So on lap 17, it's not bad. And there's a drive-through penalty, and there's another retirement. Is Matt Goodyear out of the race? What is going on here today? Matt Goodyear has spun coming out of Stavolo. It just seems as if people, as soon as the safety car periods are ending, yes, he ran wide, hit the wall. Sam did well there to avoid him. This could be a full safety car. Dean Barry, meanwhile, has pitted right at the end of the virtual safety car period. Now that Alfa Romeo is in a difficult position there. Are they going to see the need to throw a safety car to this? Stephen Harrison leads. Dean Barry comes out in 4th position. There is also a drive-through penalty for Ant Waddington. He's not taking it now. He's changed the front wing. He's got damage there. So was there contact between Matt Goodyear and Anthony Waddington? Possibly. But Ant Waddington has got a drive-through penalty. He was speeding under the virtual safety car. So he's going to have to come in again. They changed his front wing this time. They have cleared the Alfa Romeo out of the way. So that stops it being our 5th safety car period. But Stephen Harrison leads the race from 15th on the grid. He's got just under a 2-second lead from Jamie Keats in the Haas. 3rd is Dan Blackwell. Dean Barry is 4th. But has stopped. In 5th position is Anthony Bauer. He has stopped because that was right at the end of the first lap after Dan Blackwell hit the front wing in the first corner. Sam Congreve is 6th and has stopped. So has Patrick in 7th. In fact, Patrick has stopped twice. Matt Anderson is 8th. He has stopped. Scott Larvin is 9th. And we've got another retirement. That is Ryan Sturman out of the race, I believe. Can't see him on the screen. I think Ryan Sturman is now retired as well. We're now up to 5 retirements. We're down to 14 cars left. So what is going on here today? We're already down to 14 cars. We're not even halfway through the race yet. We're on lap 19, 44 lap race. So Stephen now leads by about 1.5 seconds. And, well, they're looking like fries at the moment in this race. Stephen from Jamie. Dan is 3rd. Dean Barry is 4th. Anthony Bauer is 5th. Sam Congreve is 6th. Patrick Orozco is 7th. 8th for Matt Anderson. 9th for Scott Larvin. Olivier Cernan is 10th now in the Racing Point. Ant Waddington is 11th after his stop. 12th is Callum Harrod. 13th is Gareth Lamble. And 14th is Joe Newman. So, how many more retirements is there going to be in this race? We're on lap 19. So both Alfa Romeo, as I was saying, it was looking good for Alfa Romeo in terms of the Constructors' Championship. Both Alfa Romeos on the same lap retired from the race. McLaren out, Williams out, and a Racing Point out as well. Well, so much action in this race, it's unbelievable. As Dean Barry now sets fastest lap of the race at 1:49.0. It's a good lap from him. Long way off the lap record, but he is in 4th place now, catching up to Dan Blackwell, who's very much on his own really in that race at the moment. He's in 3rd place, being caught quite quickly by Dean. So now the question is how long can these two out front go? Don't forget, Stephen's got slightly newer tyres. Jamie did qualifying on those tyres. So he'll have done an extra 3 laps as Ant Waddington now is serving his drive-through penalty. I say at the moment, that Ferrari out the front does look as if he's struggling to grip a little bit. Ant Waddington serving his penalty now. There we can see him. That's going to drop him to 12th position. He's quite a long way ahead of Gareth. So he's going to be 12th. He's quite a long way behind Callum now as well. There is Callum Harrod in 11th place. Great to see Williams finish in the top 10. And the way things are going here, who knows? Scott Larvin, here he is in 9th position. Now has Ollie right behind him. There's another car off. That's Joe Newman off at Pouon. I saw it was a Toro Rosso. Wasn't sure which one it was. But it is Joe Newman. He's last anyway. That's going to drop him even further down. Here is his teammate with Olivier Cernan right behind him. This is a battle for 9th position now. Scott, I don't think, has stopped. No, he hasn't. Scott has not stopped yet. Ollie has. In fact, Ollie's stopped twice in this race so far. So that is why he's in 10th place. Race order, Stephen Harrison now leads by just over 2 seconds from Jamie. Dan Blackwell is 3rd. Those top 3 are yet to stop. 4th is Dean Barry, the early race leader. He has made a stop and is now right on Dan's tail. Anthony Bauer is 5th. Pole sitter on the recovery drive. This is another close battle here as well. Sam Congreve and Patrick Orozco battling over 6th position. McLaren versus Renault, same engine in that car, of course. We know what a feisty drive this has been from Patrick so far, and he's got the deal. Oh, a little bit cheeky there, swept to the inside after getting ahead. Just a little bit cheeky, but he'll get away with that. Lucky Sam wasn't just that little bit alongside him, because it would have been a horrible accident there at nearly 200 miles an hour. But Patrick has recovered up into 6th position. There is Anthony Bauer. He's 5th. This is the other battle on track now. Dan Blackwell and Dean Barry. Dan has not stopped. Dean has, of course. So much fresher tyres on that Mercedes. He won't want to get too held up behind that Red Bull, because of course, don't forget, we think that possibly Dean might have to stop again. 26 laps, I suppose 26 laps is possible on those tyres. So at the moment he's going to have quite a comfortable lead. We can't help thinking that maybe on the same tyres, and of course fresher tyres, when he comes out of the pits, Stephen Harrison and maybe even Jamie Keats, currently 2nd, might be able to find a way through there and close the gap. So Dean won't want to be too long behind this Red Bull. But of course, Dan will be wanting to fight for position as well. He needs as many points as he can get. And you've got to say, that Red Bull's got good traction out of the hairpin, hasn't it? But here comes Dean now, up into third place, up the inside. Good, clean pass. As Dean now takes third place. That is Gareth, I believe, about to be lapped. I don't think that is Jamie. No, Jamie's a little bit further up the road. There's the pink helmet, of course, for Antoine Hubert on Jamie Keats as he goes through Pouhon. Just under 3 seconds, just dropped back a little bit now. Has Jamie. We're now at the halfway stage. Joe Newman's pitted again for a set of soft tyres. Now don't forget the other thing with this race as well, we've already given a point to Anthony Bauer for pole position. The person inside the top 10 with the fastest lap gets a point, which at the moment is Dean Barry. But the person outside the top 10 but with the fastest lap gets 2 points. At the moment, that's Ant Waddington, who is 12th. There's another yellow flag. There's a McLaren going slowly. I think it might... So I think it was actually a Haas letting a McLaren go. Possibly. I'll try and see what that was actually. I think it was Sam. I think Sam's made a mistake somewhere because he's now dropped behind Matt Anderson. So Sam Congreve has made a mistake in the McLaren. He's now dropped to 8th position. It doesn't look like any damage on that front wing, I don't think. Let's have a look. No, there's no damage. So I think he just ran a little bit wide and now he's dropped behind the other Renault. We saw him battling Patrick earlier on. And now he's dropped behind the other Renault of Matt Anderson. So here is your race leader, Stephen Harrison, now leading by just under 3 seconds from Jamie Keats, who's still a fantastic drive from that Haas. And what a result this could be for Haas as well, with Jamie looking at possibly third, and at the moment Gareth in 13th position. That would be 27 points on the board for Haas. And if we go back to the World Championship situation, that would actually lift them very close to Racing Point, who are only going to be getting a few points. They're only 16 points behind Racing Point. And their highest driver is in 9th place at the moment. So it's very, very close between those teams. And it looks like tightening up even more. We've got both Renaults well up. Only one Red Bull, of course, in there. And Racing Point not scoring. So it looks like it's going to be closing up even more between those teams. Lap 23, Stephen Harrison still leads, still stretching the lead out, just pushing on a little bit more. Now is Stephen, 3.5 second lead. And he is about 8.5 seconds clear of Dean Barry. Just see there the Mercedes in the background. The question is, can Dean get these tyres to the end of the race? If he can, he's looking very, very strong here for race victory. So we're hearing, I've just been told by Michael Booker, thank you very much Michael for the information here, but apparently the medium tyres can do about 30 laps. So the top two will be staying out a little bit longer yet then, and it does mean that Dean shouldn't have to stop again. He pitted on lap 18. So we had 26 laps, so the medium tyre should be okay to the end for Dean. So he is looking in a strong position, but of course, as I said before, Seaman's going to come in much later, have much fresher tyres. Can he start to close the gap? What a win this would be for Stephen if he can pull this off. Jamie Keats still driving well, now just 4 seconds clear of Dean. Anthony Bauer's progress has stalled as well. He's got up to 5th position, but he's not closing very quickly on Dan in front of him. That gap's remained just under 7 seconds for a few laps now. So Anthony Bauer's progress has just stalled a little bit. Only 4 cars have not made a stop yet. Stephen Harrison, Jamie Keats, Dan and Scott Larvin, who is 10th in the Toro Rosso. They're the only four yet to make a stop. We're on lap 25. Stephen goes through to complete another lap. Just all calm down now in this race, isn't it? So much action in the first half. And we see this quite often in the races. You just have a quiet lull in the middle of the race, and then normally comes alive again at the end. The closest battle on track is for 11th place between Callum Harrod, having a great race in the Williams, and Ant Waddington, recovering through the field after his drive-through penalty. He's just a second behind him now. So that is the closest battle on track. Dean is just gently closing on Jamie. Does look as if Dean's just backed off a little bit. Just to maybe look after his tyres a little bit, try and make those tyres definitely last to the end of the race. He won't want to be making another stop. And of course, we saw in Hungary, of course, he pushed very, very hard on a brand new set of tyres and ended up spinning out of the race. Well, he's not spinning out of the race, but he spun at turn 4, damaged his front wing and had to make an extra stop. So he'll be mindful of that. And we saw that at Singapore last season as well. Sticks in my memory. He did that a couple of times there and connected with a couple of cars. So he'll be mindful of that, trying to just get a win on the board for Mercedes. A little bit too far out of the championship battle, I think, really, now for Dean. He's on 158 points. He is 62 behind Stephen Harrison. And well, Stephen looks like he's going to be getting at least second in this race as things stand. So just backed off the pace a little bit. Jamie's catching him again. Gap down just under 4 seconds. So that is the top 3. Dan Blackwell having a very quiet race there in 4th place, but still getting some points on the board. Something he failed to do in Hungary, of course, after the contact with his teammate, which is why Jamie's got this race ban. There we see the overhead shot. That is the Rivage hairpin, much tighter than it looks when you look at a track map, and very easy to make a mistake in there. So down towards Poole. As Ant Waddington has now passed Callum, and in fact is 2 seconds ahead of him. Is now starting to close on Scott Larvin, and had run out of medium tyres by the looks of it. It's gone into his other half to the end of the race. So Stephen pushing on again this lap. He's about half a second clear, or quicker on this lap than Jamie behind him. He's actually also lost half a second to Dean. So they're running quite a similar pace still, Stephen and Dean, in 1st and 3rd. So let's see when they're going to pit. We saw the soft tyres earlier lasting about 14 laps, but we saw the people at the end of that stint really, really struggling after 14 laps on the softs. Because at the end of the race they'll have less fuel on board, so less strain on the tyres, so they should be able to stretch out another lap or 2 out of it. But I don't think it will be long before the top 2 and Dan and 4 will be pitting. Dean now is close to within about 2.5 seconds down behind Jamie. So he's getting closer. Ant Waddington as well now is close to less than 5 seconds behind Scott Larvin, who also has not stopped yet. And soon will be, I would have thought, on lap 27. 17 laps to go after the one they're on. And, well, what a performance this has been by Stephen. He said earlier on, didn't he, when we interviewed him after qualifying, all the carnage he was expecting in the middle of the pack in the first few laps. And he hoped to avoid it. Well, there was a lot of carnage, and he did manage to avoid it brilliantly. And has worked his way up I mean, he was 15th on the grid. He was about 7th at the end of the first lap. And he's just worked his way up through the field. Some great overtaking manoeuvres. And this has just been a brilliant drive so far from Stephen Harrison. Don't forget, he said he was aiming for top 5. And at the moment, a podium at least is looking very, very likely for him. 5 seconds now clear of Jamie. Really putting a bit of a spurt on this lap. And the last couple, as he comes through to complete yet another lap. And Jamie Keats pits. So Jamie Keats into the pits in the Haas. So he's the first of the top 2 to blink. Let's see what tyres he goes on to. That's going to be an interesting thing. The season lead is now up to 7 seconds. And Jamie's got a penalty. So they've had to wait a few seconds. They're going on to a set of soft tyres. That shouldn't cost him overall. Because Dan's still got to pit. Patrick now moves up into 4th place. He's another one who's had a good recovery drive. It's going to be close between these two, but Patrick has taken 4th. Anthony Bauer pits as well. He's gone on to a set of softs to the end in the Ferrari. There is Ollie Stone, and he's hit a wall somewhere. I think he's got damage to his front wing, and he's in the pits again. What is Scott Larvin? And he too is in the pit, so they're all coming in now. And look at this, Jamie Keats now all over the back of Patrick. See how far Patrick can go on these tyres. They can do 30 laps. He might just make it to the end on these tyres. So that'll be a good effort from him. He's 4th at the moment. He might be looking at 4th because he's not that far behind Dan Blackwell. There he is, Dan in 3rd place. So, when is Stephen Harrison going to be pitting? He'll know that Jamie's got a penalty, so he won't be under too much pressure from behind. That extra 5 seconds there that Jamie had to wait in the stop feels like an eternity when he sat there in the car waiting for them to start work on you. Stephen now carries on for another lap. He's 6.5 seconds. Dean sets fastest lap of the race, a 1:48.9. So he's pushing it hard once again. Dan Blackwell pits from 3rd place. Look at these two here. 2 feisty young drivers here. Patrick having a great race, and we saw just how feisty Jamie was in the last race at Hungary with some of his overtaking moves from the back of the grid. These two are going to move up. This is our battle for 3rd position. Look at that. That's a late dive from Jamie. Has he can he stop it in time? Yes, he can, but Patrick duck back underneath him. He's now going to have the slipstream and the DRS all the way up to late block. That was a brave move there by Jamie, but that's what we saw from him in Hungary, and he made it work. A Daniel Ricciardo-esque move from Jamie Keats. But look at Patrick now. He's going to go around the outside. He's going to have to go the long way, but he's got the straight line speed. That's good from the Renault. Didn't expect it to be quite so easy against the Haas with the Ferrari power, of course, but that could be a good battle toward the end of the race. Jamie Keats, of course, on the soft tyres, so he'd be preferring to get on with this, especially now that Dan has come out only 5 seconds behind him. I think Jamie just wants to get on with this and get that Renault cleared. But at the moment, Patrick looking at yet another podium at the moment. If he can make those tyres go to the end, he's sitting in a podium position in 3rd place. So another stunning effort. After all the shenanigans in the first lap, he's still looking good. Here is Patrick. And Stephen's going on for yet another lap. So he's going to go into lap 30 now. So what a run he's had on these tyres, really making those tyres last well. So lap 30, Stephen leads by 6 seconds. These two, I think they're going to be locked in combat for a few laps here. And this time Patrick just outraces himself. Jamie's going to try and cut back underneath. Patrick has got the better run out the corner, but look at the straight line speed. But once again, I think Patrick might just get... yes, Patrick will get the DRS. 146.6 for Anthony Bauer. What a lap time that is. And once again, Patrick's going to have the DRS to go past. This is going to be close, and Patrick has got it down the inside, and he has made it past again. So these two are having such a wonderful battle here for third place. 5 seconds clear of Dan. Oh, well, look at this. Jamie's got down the inside. He's had a great run out of the chicane. Patrick's going to have to hang it out round the outside. But Jamie keeps, I think this time, has got the move done. That was brave. Well done to both drivers. Patrick, very well done for giving Jamie just enough space. And now he's run wide. So I think that is the end to this battle, because Jamie's going to be able to get away here on those soft tyres. So that could have given Jamie a chance here for second place if you hadn't got caught behind Patrick for so long. Stephen pits. He's gone to lap 30. Dean Barry retakes the lead. Let's see what his lead is when he rejoins the track. Jamie Keats isn't quite going to get through. I can say Patrick doing well there, hanging on in this lap. But Stephen Harrison is going to be about 12-13 seconds behind Dean. We're on lap 31. There's 14 laps to go, including this one. That's around 11 seconds. And you've got to say, Patrick's done very well. I really expected that Haas to just walk away from the Renault. But Patrick's held on, and this time he's going to have the DRS and the slipstream once again all the way down to Lake On. These two are losing ground to Dan Blackwell behind him, who wouldn't mind a chance for podium himself. And here, oh, there's contact! There's contact! Patrick is into the wall! There was a little bit of... I think he hit the grass. The DRS was open. He lost the back end. Bounced back off Jamie Keats and connects with the barrier, and he's got front wing damage. I think Patrick is going to have to pick. How bad is the damage? Yeah, he's lost nearly half his front wing there. Oh, such a shame. That was such a good battle between those two. But Patrick Horosco, well, a little bit unfortunate with that one there. I think they were very, very close. The DRS on Patrick was open. I think he just touched a little bit of grass through that right-hand kink of Kemmel onto the back straight. And, well, he sort of ricocheted off the hat, didn't he, and into the wall. Lucky to keep going in a way, but he is going to very quickly lose 4th place to Dan Blackwell. So this is actually doing Jamie a favour here, because he's just holding Dan up a little bit. Understeer into the wall. Oh, that was close. But Dan's got a good run on him here. Such a shame for Patrick. He's going to lose 4th place. I'm not quite sure where he's going to come out either here. So there's your race lead. He's now got an 11-second lead over Stephen. There is Jamie Keats, looking good for a podium here at the moment in 3rd place. As Patrick does now pit, I think he's probably going to come out just ahead of Ant Waddington. Probably go to a set of soft tyres as well, I would have thought. So indeed he has. So watch him later on in the race. He is going to absolutely fly. Gareth Lambourne pits as well. He's running 13th at the moment in the second of the 2 Haas cars. So it's Dean from Stephen, Jamie 3rd, Dan Blackwell is 4th in the Red Bull, 5th for Matt Anderson. Having a very quiet race. Well, I was just to say that Anthony Bauer gets past him. But Matt Anderson having a very, very quiet but very effective race. He started, let's see where he started. He's only 8th on the grid. And he's another one who's kept himself out of trouble, avoided all the dramas going around him. And he was up in 5th. He's now dropped back to 6th position. But yes, Patrick's come out in 8th position, just ahead of Ant Waddington. So on the yellow flag, well, it might just be someone letting someone else through there. But Callum, meanwhile, as well, I was saying about it would be good to see Williams finish in the top 10. He's 11th at the moment, just 2 seconds behind Ollie, but he's just dropping back a little bit. So Ollie on the soft tyres as well, he'll be going to the end. So will Callum on the mediums. But Dean there has just lost a little bit of ground. He's lost a couple of seconds, so Stephen is pushing. Don't forget, Dean on the medium tyres, Stephen on the soft tyres. We could have a battle royal here in the last few laps for the World Championship leader fighting his way back through the field. He's now in second place on a brand new set of the soft. Oh, a bit of a wobble at the top of the line. Just about got away with it. Very overcast ahead of him. Dry forecast. This road, but there's a lot of cloud cover here. It does come in randomly, the weather from here. It can just literally appear from nowhere, the rain. But right now, and I'm just hearing that Ryan Sturman, we said about the Alfa Romeo of Matt Goodyear, when he crashed out, he was in the middle of the road, and Ryan Sturman unfortunately hit him as he came round. Very, very unlucky for Ryan. He was having another good race, knocking on the door of the top 10 as well with Ryan, so very unfortunate for him. Stevens continuing to close the gap. He's got those soft tyres up to a good temperature now. Struggled the first lap or two, but now is absolutely flying. Just keeping an eye on Patrick as well in 8th position. How quickly can he catch Sam Congreve ahead of him in 7th place? Another one having quite a quiet race so far, Sam, but he is still there in 7th. Having a good run. So, let's see what the lead is at the end of this lap. Dean Barry leads Stephen Harrison by 7.9 seconds as he crosses the line. So, Stephen right now is catching Dean very quickly. We're on lap 34, a 44 lap race, don't forget. Jamie Keats meanwhile as well is pulling away from Dan now. So looking as if he's consolidating his position on the podium. Oh, what a battle we could have in these last few laps. Stephen Harrison closing the gap to Dean Barry ahead of him. Anthony Bauer is 5th. He was our pole sitter, hit by Dan in the first corner. And he's got up to 5th and hasn't really moved much further, has he? Looks like he's in a wall there. He's 6.5 seconds behind Dan. So that will see Dan back into second place in the World Championship and extend Stephen's lead even further. So can Stephen catch Dean in the remaining 10 laps of this race? The other battles that's closest out on track is between Callum Harrod and Scott Larvin. That's the battle for 11th place. Scott's also managed to do this on a one stop. Stephen done a purple middle sector. That's the fastest sector of anybody so far in this race. So it was 7.9 seconds at the end of the last lap. It's now going to be around the 7-second mark. So he's closing by about just under a second a lap. So there is enough time here. 10 laps to go now. And he's closing at about a second a lap. It won't be long before he can see that Mercedes ahead of him on quite old tyres as well. So let's just run through the order. I'll try and see if I can get everyone. There is Dean. He's your race leader. He's led the race from the beginning, apart from a few laps under the safety car. Stephen Harrison. He started back in 15th on the grid, don't forget, after his mistaken qualifying. He's running second. Jamie Keats started third. He's still third, having a fabulous drive in the Haas. In 4th place is Dan Blackwell. He's up 1 place from where he started. He started in 5th. After the retirement of Arthur Bowler. There is 5th place. That's Anthony Bauer. He started on pole, but had that incident with Dan in the first corner and has recovered to 5th. There is Matt Anderson. He's having a good race as well in 6th position. He started in 8th, and yes, he's recovered. He's moved up to 6th place in the race. Good race so far from Matt. Sam Congreve, he started 7th, is still 7th. He's been called very, very quickly here now by Patrick Orozco in the Renault. He started 9th. He's had an eventful race and he's up into 8th place. Ant Waddington started 6th. He's now 9th in the race, and he can't catch the cars ahead of him at the moment on those hard tyres. So he's just seen out the rest of the race. There is Olivier. He started in 10th place. He's still 10th. He's also had an instant-packed race. The Racing Points, a couple of races in a row now, they've qualified very, very well, but they've ended up being involved in incidents in the race. They need to start getting some points in to keep them in that fight for 3rd and 4th in the championship. Callum Harrod started 12th, is 11th at the moment. He's also had a good race. There is Scott Larvin on his tail. He's started in 13th place. He's climbed the place as well into 12th. Gareth Lambourne is 13th. There he is. He started back in 17th position. But once again, as is Gareth's trademark really in this league, he just keeps himself out of trouble, doesn't get involved in any silly incidents, doesn't end up hitting someone or being hit by someone, and he always seems to, 9 times out of 10, brings the car home and gets more points on the board. He's running in 13th position, and Joe Newman started 16th. He too has had an instant field race. He is currently in 14th position and is catching Gareth, so that could be an interesting fight towards the end of the race. But meantime, the lead out front is now less than 5 seconds. Patrick has got past Sam as well to move into 7th, and Scott Larvin has moved into 11th place ahead of Callum. Don't forget the fastest lap situation as well. Anthony Bauer's getting that extra point at the moment for the fastest lap. He's on a 1:46.6. The fastest lap outside the top 10 is currently held by Scott Larvin. He's on a 1:49.3. So don't be surprised to see a few people come in toward the end of the race, especially say Callum in 12th position. He's not going to lose a position, and he might gain an extra couple of points for the fastest lap outside the top 10. But Stephen is relentlessly closing this gap down now. Can Dean Barry withstand the pressure in these last few laps? We're on lap 37 now. What a race it has been. Go through the retirement. Arthur Bowler retired after the first full safety car period. He spun the wheels up coming out of the final chicane on the restart, ended up hitting the wall. Andrew, I'm not sure what happened to Andrew, but he's retired from the race once again. Oh, so yes, he spun at Eau Rouge, I believe it was. Gregor Telford was retired as well in the McLaren. And then the 2 Alfa Romeos. Matt Goodyear understeered off at Stavolo after the end of one of the virtual safety car periods. And unfortunately, his teammate came along and hit him as well. So that's our 5 retirements. 14 left. 19 started the race after Jamie's disqualification from this race. And Stephen Harrison is relentlessly closing this gap down. It's down now to 4.5 seconds. Jamie Keats, I think, has resigned himself to finishing 3rd because he's not making any impression on Stephen ahead of him. But still, a podium in the Haas will be a fine result for him. So, Dean comes through to complete yet another lap. He's starting lap 38, 7 laps to go now. And there is the ever closing Stephen Harrison, still taking about a second a lap out of Dean. And there's just nothing that Dean can do at the moment except just push as hard as he can. This is what I was saying earlier. He needs to build up a bigger lead in the first stint. I know it was interspersed with safety cars. He had about 3 virtual safety cars and 1 full safety car in his first stint. That really is what has ruined his race in a lot of ways. Didn't enable him to build up the lead he needed, starting on the soft tyres, especially once Anthony Bauer dropped down the field. That is what has prevented Dean here from getting the lead he needed. And it could be coming back to haunt him here because Stephen is relentlessly closing the gap. One thing I have noticed though is through the first sector, Stephen isn't really closing. which is suggesting to me that in a straight line at least that Mercedes does seem at least as strong as the Ferrari, if not slightly stronger. It's through the middle part of the lap, through the twisty sections, where Stephen's really able to use the grip on those much fresher and softer tyres. But Dean really pushing hard right to the limit of the curbs there. So Dean really, really pushing this hard. Anthony Bauer's now close to within 2 seconds of Dan. So that could be another fight to watch in the last few laps as well. Can Anthony Bauer get 4th place in this race? He'll still be disappointed after starting on the pole. And of course, don't forget, it was Dan who caused him to have to pit early. So there is a back marker in front. I think that's Scott Larvin. So he's coming around to the lapped. He is currently running in 11th place. No, it is Joe Newman coming around to be lapped again for the 2nd time this afternoon. And the lead is now 3 seconds. So what an ending to this race this will be. Has been not enough pace to stay in the lead on the last few laps on these tyres. At the moment, you've got to say, Stephen's just relentlessly closing that gap down. You'll soon see him popping into the background on some of these long shots here, where he really is closing the gap very, very quickly. And there he is in the background of that now, as I say that. So, well, as soon as you can see your opponent ahead of you, it's a completely different mindset. It almost re-motivates you to push on that a little bit more. You can see your prey. You can see the car ahead of you. And the blue flag there for Joe. So he's got to get out of the way for the Ferrari. And Joe Newman pits again. So he wasn't just closing on Gareth. Gareth's doing a fine job there in 13th place, pulling away from the Toro Rosso of Joe. And Joe now in the pits again, going for the fastest lap out of the top 10, giving those extra 2 points. At the moment, 14th place is enough for 7 points. Could snatch another couple. Ant Waddington's recovered up to 9th. The fastest lap outside the top 10 at the moment is still held by Scott Larvin on 1:49.3. So, and amazingly as well, only 2 people have been lapped in this race, and that's Gareth and Joe. They're the only 2 to have been lapped. Callum's not far away from being lapped. So he is on the driver tracker. Yes, he's just coming out of the Fania chicane, and here is Dean coming up towards that chicane. So, and Gareth's not far away from being lapped for a 2nd time as well. But this lap, the gap's not come down quite as quick. It's still over 2 seconds. Dean is finding reserves of speed inside himself somewhere. We're on lap 40, just 4 to go after this lap. It's been a great race, full of incidents, especially at the start. And we could be in for a grandstand finish here. Dean is a little bit wide in that final chicane. I've noticed that a couple of times, pushing so hard. And the gap is now 1.8 seconds. So he did lose a little bit of time there. Meanwhile, I didn't see the change in position. I do apologise for not mentioning it. But Anthony Bauer has moved into 4th place ahead of Dan Blackwell now. And he's 4.5 seconds behind Jamie and just closing the gap slightly. So could Anthony Bauer recover to the podium? I don't think he's quite well, I was going to say he hasn't quite got the pace. Just set a blistering fastest lap of 1:46. 0.075. That's an amazing lap, and I think it's only a couple of tenths off the lap record. So that is a very, very quick lap time. In fact, that is a new lap record for Anthony Bauer, 2 tenths quicker than the previous lap record. And if you look at that fastest lap classification there, his fastest lap is nearly a second quicker than the next fastest lap in the race of Stephen. So it really does show that Anthony Bauer really has had the pace here. Just that first corner is what called him out. And look how close Stephen is now. There is Gareth just ahead, about to be lapped for the second time here this afternoon. And look at how close it is now between the top two. Stephen Harris has had a fantastic race, 15th on the grid, as Gareth gets very, very much out of the way. Well done, Gareth. He doesn't want to get involved in this fight. It is now just over a second. Can he do it? Closes up another couple of tenths. He'll be in the DRS range. Like I said before, I think that Mercedes is moving in a straight line. So we'll all come to the twistier sections. And of course, those soft tyres on that Ferrari, they're past their best now as well. There's Callum. He is not far away from being lapped in the Williams. So, well, could he have an impact on this race? But you see again then, only lost about a tenth in that first sector, suggesting that Mercedes is pretty strong in a straight line. It's this section, but those soft tyres on Stephen's car, like I said, they're past their best now. They've done 11 laps. So he'll just be starting to struggle for grip a little bit. Anthony Bauer, meanwhile, has close to within 4 seconds now of Jamie. I still don't quite think he's going to have enough time or enough laps to close up. And now look at it. It's less than a second between these two. We are going to be in for a Grand Slam finish here, right at the end of the Belgian Grand Prix. Dean's led it from the beginning. And apart from a few laps around his pit stop, Stephen led for a long time. But look how close it is now. We've got 2 laps to go. We're going to have 2 laps here of these two fighting hard. I'm keeping the camera on this. I will keep an eye on the other positions and the gaps as well, because Anthony Bauer still closing up a little bit on Jamie. But look at these two now. DRS will be enabled. It wasn't actually open there on the back of the Ferrari, but Dean feeling the need to go defensive. Oh, and he outbrakes himself. Oh, took a very shallow angle in there though. And that's put him on the back foot. That's given a bit of an advantage here to Stephen. These two are going to be very close in the chicane. As I suspected, Callum Harrod has pitted from 12th position. So look at this, Dean Barry, Stephen Harrison. Look at the Mercedes going. He's very, very good in a straight line. And it's very close between them. And not quite close enough. Well, we've got 2 more. We're on the penultimate lap of this race. And we're in for an unbelievable finish. Look at Stephen now. Look, trying to duck out, trying to distract Dean in the mirrors. This is going to be so close all the way to the flag. Driver of the day. I'm going to give it to Stephen Harrison for his amazing drive through the field and keep himself out of trouble as well when it was all going off around him. Can he now cap what has been a brilliant race? Can he now cap it off with snatching victories from Dean right at the end? Dean has driven very, very well this afternoon. And, well, it will be all about now, can he use his ERS, that battery recovery system, the energy recovery system there, can he use that effectively to fend off that Ferrari? We're entering the final lap of the race. Look at how close it is between our 2 leaders. Dean Barry crosses the line just 0.3 of a second clear of Stephen. We're entering the final lap now. Behind these two, Jamie is still maintaining a 3-second gap to Anthony Bauer, so I don't think there's anything going there. And Waddington as well is close right up to Sam Connery, so that could be a close one right at the end. But that Mercedes had a very good exit out of the hairpin, but Stephen a little bit closer. Coming out of Eau Rouge, this is going to be the rundown. Here comes Stephen with the DRS wide open. He's got to get the inside line. Oh my goodness me, on the final lap of the race, Stephen Harrison takes the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. He has got a penalty. I'm not sure if Dean has. I will just quickly find out. I don't think Dean has got a penalty. So, he's got a couple of warnings, but I can't see any penalty for him. So if that's the case, then possibly, yes, he has got a penalty. He has got a penalty. So Stephen, well, it's going to all come down now to who's got the most penalties. I know Stephen's got at least one, possibly two. If he's got two, then Dean Barry will take the race victory. He's run very wide there. Stephen Harrison has now got this. He's going to win. What a race he's had. 15th on the grid. He said to us, didn't he, on the stream, he'd be aiming for top 5. Well, he's done the much better than he could have ever imagined. Stephen Harrison comes through the final chicane and he takes the checkered flag and he wins the Belgian Grand Prix. What a race from him. But Dean does take it at the end. Stephen did have those penalties and Dean Barry is awarded the race victory over Stephen. Jamie Keats, well, but for the great drive by Stephen, I would have given Jamie driver of the day because he has driven superbly, and Anthony Bauer as well actually has driven very, very well. Jamie Keats comes home third. Anthony Bauer finishes only a couple of seconds behind him in the end. Dan Blackwell finishes 5th for Red Bull. Here comes Patrick. What an eventful race he's had. He's going to come home in 6th position for Renault. Good race for Renault because 7 seconds down the road is his teammate Matt Anderson. Here he comes into the final. And look at this. This is Sam Congreve and Waddington into the final chicane of the race. And Waddington has got past Sam Congreve. Sam's going to try and get it back again. Is there going to be contact? No, there isn't. That was brave stuff, but Ant just gave him enough space. And in the final corner of the race, Ant Waddington takes 8. But Sam has been awarded it again because of penalties. Here comes Ollie. Quiet race for his home Grand Prix. But he is going to come home in 10th position. And the last person to finish, only 3 cars lapped amazingly in this race. Fastest lap outside the top 10 goes to Joe Newman in the end. Callum not quite quick enough. Joe Newman gets the extra couple of points for Toro Rosso. This is the last person to finish. Is Scott Larvin as well. Quite a quiet race for him. But he also kept himself out of trouble and he comes home 11th. Bit of wheel spin as he comes out the final corner. And Scott Larvin finishes in 11th position. Well, can you believe it? What a race we had there. Action from start to finish. I'm just going to get the top 3 in now for an interview. So that's Dean Barry, Jamie Keats, and of course Stephen Harrison. So, but there we see Dean Barry in the end. He took the checkered flag second, but he is awarded the race victory. I'm not sure how the stewards will view that at the end of the race when they have a look at it. So we've got our 3 podium finishes now in the party. Can all you 3 gentlemen please just make sure your audio is included so everyone on the stream can hear you. So I'm going to start off with Stephen. Well, you said to me after qualifying you were aiming for top 5. You've ended up coming through and winning the race. You must be delighted with that result.
Well, I'd have been even happier, but on that last lap, literally, I took Eau Rouge on standard and low all race, and then because I was catching on that last lap, I pinged everything up, and I just went through it way too quick, and I touched the outside curbs of it, and yeah, I got me over 3 seconds. Yeah.
But still, you must be pleased with that result, though. You said you were hoping for the top 5. You come home and finish second.
Honestly, that was intense. Like I seen the times going down at the end then, and that was intense. Like catching him, we're driving by everybody, and
I'm
we're looking for
sack.
So Dean, well, you started second, 3rd race in a row. You basically dominated the race. You do in the end get to take the race win, but how much pressure did you feel in those last few laps?
You have no idea. I am sweating. It was really difficult because Jeff told me to go on a 2-stop. He wanted me to go onto the softs at lap 34, and I told him to shut up. I seen that Steve had taken his tyres to, was it lap 30, I think?
Yeah, I ran him to 30.
I thought, well, if I go on this off, I'm going to have to pass you again, and you're not going to make it easy for me. So I thought, I'm just going to stick to them. Took them to the end, and thank God you got that penalty, or I would have been human. Brilliant race, though. It was really good.
It was an amazing race. It really was action everywhere all the time. Jamie, I'm going to move to you. Podium finish, started 3rd, finished 3rd. You must be pleased with that result.
Yeah, didn't expect that. I was like the slowest in my team practice, and to do that is just mental.
Yeah, and you had quite a good fight there with Stephen as well earlier on. You were hanging on to him for quite a while, but in the end that throw was just that little bit too quick for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, just trying to clutch on to the RS, pull me away from Dan a little bit.
I had a
Well
feeling
done,
you would have been
you three.
shaking and begging.
Yeah.
Well done, you 3. Honestly, it was a great race. There was so much action going on left, right and centre. And we'll see you next week at Monza. Are you all looking forward to Monza?
Not really.
No,
Yeah.
not without a Ferrari engine.
So mixed reviews there from the podium finishers. But thank you very much, gentlemen. It was a great race. Pleasure to commentate on. And I'll see you all next week.
Well done, boys.
Good race, boys. Cheers.
So thank you very much to everyone for joining me this evening. It's been a great race. I will see you again next week at Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. Stay home, stay safe everyone. Thank you to everyone, all the key workers here who are still making this country work very, very well. Please everyone stay at home, stay safe. I hope you're all well, and I'll see you all again next week. Goodbye for now.